Hey guys, welcome back to the Break Room Podcast, and we got a full house once again. Thank God. We have some good stuff to discuss. Some big stuff dropped this week. We're going to kick off the show with a little haul here. Shout out to the Major Bendy's podcast people because they came out with these Bendy action figures of Sergeant Slaughter. As you can see, there's a little difference in the box art. This one is styled like the original mail-away Sergeant Slaughter action figure. This was actually another G.I. Joe figure as well, and more close to his wrestling attire as well. But, Chris, what are you doing?
Fucking crooked.
The only thing I don't love is that they should have made the bubble a little bit wider because his hat gets smushed.
That's true.
And
oh, really? It's pressing up right on the front there?
Yeah, the hat's kind of like bent forward, so unless you open them and like
you can open it because it's just a little.
Well, doesn't he normally wear his hat like a little?
You can open it and then rebox them. What's nice about these Bendies is they made them the way you should. If you want to display it, you can just slit this up. It doesn't ruin you don't have to tear anything. You don't have to ruin anything.
These trading cards,
really cool,
which are pretty cool. It has his autograph on the back.
They're doing a really good job. I know you bought the LJN big rubber guy, Sergeant Slaughter.
Yep.
They already had Demolition out, and they just released the pre-order for the British Bulldogs today. So, shout out to the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. I mean, they're really taking the time to put in the work to really give us the figures that we want as a wrestling figure collector community.
And an actual accurate Andre the Giant that came out recently, and Macho Man Randy Savage.
It's like by fans for fans.
He's got some great figures. And they match the Bendies that he's been collecting, the smaller figures. Mm-hmm. They are making LJN-style figures as well. I haven't received my LJN-style Sergeant Slaughter yet, but he's based on the original mold that they were supposed to produce, and then Sarge never got that figure because he moved over to Hasbro and G.I. Joe. So to honor that prototype that's floating around somewhere unpainted, I don't know if they got the original mold. Like
it's pretty close.
The original,
it's probably not the original mold, but it's a 2-scale like replica.
Removable hat and everything. So
and glasses.
I'll be excited to get that. And you said something about the original glasses were supposed to be Michael Jackson's glasses. It came with a Michael Jackson doll that was being produced by LJN before the wrestling line.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Up next, CM Punk returns. Just throwing that in there since we're watching SmackDown as we do the show.
They put the SmackDown on in the background because they're doing the tribute to the troops tonight. But Chris, tell us what you scooped.
Yeah, so I picked up a PSA, and you know what I did too is
Now you got this in the deck and got it graded, or you purchased it?
No, I bid for this on eBay.
Okay.
This is I have the actual picture up on the screen at least so people could see a better quality, but this is called the Ruler of the Black Flame. Charizard EX. The one on the screen is English. The one that I have here in hand is actually a Japanese card.
Now, according to friend of the show, Gruffy, that is the Grail card of that deck.
Is it?
Because he said
of that deck, yes, definitely.
Of that particular deck, it's the best card you can pull. He said there were no waifu cards either from that deck. So
what's that?
Like the girl trainers and stuff like that. That a lot of the collectors try to.
Oh, yes.
So
and
there
that
are
ends
none
up becoming
in that particular series. So.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, this is. I mean, the name of the set is Ruler of the Black Flame. Okay. And this Charizard, again, if you look at his head there, he's got a crown on his head. So this is like King Charizard. Wait, it's just crown. Joe said the same thing. This is like King Charizard, and I'm really not collecting cards like that anymore. But I had to get this one because it's so badass. It's got the black and. It's just, I think, the coolest Charizard card that they've ever made.
I'm going to be doing a Twitch stream soon with it'll finally open some of my One Piece cards that I got. Because I got the Devil Fruit card set that has the fruit that Luffy eats to become the Rubber Man. And then I have a couple of boxes to open up. One was gifted to me.
It's funny. Anytime, first, it's a lot of money. So my first reaction is...
I don't want to say what it was.
Ooh,
I got it for $10 cheaper.
We're talking about a card here, right? Okay, damn. But then anytime Pokemon ever comes up, whatever age, everyone always says, I really wish I never fucking threw away my Pokemon
It's an investment, though.
Yeah. Yeah. At this point,
well,
that's, it is.
That's the thing is... Oh, let me get my Taco Bell cup out of the way here. This right now is worth a pretty good amount, and if you give it a couple of years, it's only going to be worth more. It's again PSA rated level 10. It's a special art rare. I just think it's one of the most beautiful cards that they've ever made. So super psyched to have this. I bought a couple of boxes of these cards to try to pull it, and I've learned at this point that I'm going to spend more money buying these fucking 30-pack boxes, and they get 30 packs, and each card has each pack has 8 cards in it or something. I could be mixing up my Pokemon cards, but one of the things that they're doing now is you open a pack and it's got 5 cards in it.
But even the probability of you getting that card, the probability of it being a graded 10 is next to impossible.
Well, that's the thing, having it graded.
1,000, 1 in a million.
I don't, because then I would have to send it out to get graded, which I do have a bunch of cards that I have to do at some point. But
yeah, but there's a difference between an 8, 9, and a 10. A 10 is a perfection.
Yeah.
A 10 sometimes.
I know a lot about cards. I don't know anything about Pokemon cards, but I know a lot about trading
collectibles. And there's different ranks of Pokemon cards. So I'm pretty sure the SAR, the Special Art Rare, is the premier, best kind of card you can get. They have a coded system. They have Special Art or Art Rare or Standard Rare. I don't know exactly what they are, but I know Special Art Rare SAR is among the best. So really badass. This is actually the first time I ever bid for anything on eBay. And
how many bids did it get?
Oh, okay, I had a lot of bids, and it was just going back and forth, and then it started climbing to the price of what it would be if you just bought it flat out on eBay without bidding. And I pretty much ended up getting it for $10 cheaper than I would have gotten it if I didn't bid. So didn't save that much, but there was one, I think it was just one motherfucker that kept trying to bid it higher, and I was like, all right, motherfucker, and I doubled it. I put $10 more because it was going $5, $5. I was like, all right, $10, and then they left it alone.
1,000 more?
1,000 more. So really psyched about this card. Love to have it.
It's great that it's a 10, too, because sometimes you could get something brand new out of the pack, and it's not a 10.
I just said that 30 seconds ago. It's okay.
Well, he's also trying to fucking.
I'm trying my best to share that
he's
we're actually
multitasking
live
over
here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry
So
about
Rob,
that.
What happened to Rob? Did he leave to take a shit?
Yeah, that's it. He's dead.
Oh, he's
All
dead.
right,
All right, we lost him.
We lost Rob for a minute.
Wait, Joe. So you took another little trip, another surprise out of character, I would call it, trip. Where'd you go?
We went to Manhattan. I hate it.
You love it.
There's
you love that.
There's
you hate
a really great sushi spot that we've been eating at. It's probably the best sushi I've ever had in my life. So it's called Sugarfish. There's a couple of them in the city. They're fucking phenomenal. But my girl's never been to the tree in Times Square.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Square.
If I never go to
the
that tree
Rockefeller
again in my
Center.
life.
Right, sorry, not Times Square. Oh, look at the tree.
Oh, it's the tree. You
Oh,
gotta
what a
go
nice
see the
tree.
tree. Come on.
I love that tree.
I've been to that tree fucking 4 different times to 4 different
I'm
girlfriends.
happy for you, but she
Wow.
never went, so I wanted to
Just
take
saying,
her.
there's nothing special about it to me anymore. If you go to that same tree with 4 different people, how
pulling
special
on my
could it be?
story, bro. Let me finish
Yeah,
my
well,
story.
hey, it
The
was your
dude-
first time at least.
Not
Just
my-
come in the
not my
middle of the
first time.
story. You let the dude finish his story.
Yeah, right. Fucking motherfuckers. I won't sit here and listen to this. I'm the most interrupted motherfucker on this show. I want to hear it. Fucking Big Lebowski quotes. Fucking cocksuckers. All right, so you saw the tree, though. How'd you feel as a man watching the tree? How'd you feel?
It's
It's
cool.
nice.
It's nice.
You thought it was nice?
We took
Jesus,
a bunch
bro.
of photos.
This
It's
guy.
not. Yeah.
So negative.
Yeah.
I like
Being
it.
That's not what he
negative,
really
Chris.
The thing I didn't like about it was the sea of people that you had to
I saw a
fucking
video of that. It's
ward
nuts.
your way through. It's insane.
Can I tell you who I
Trying
saw?
to get out of there. Everyone's looking at this tree. Like, get the fuck out of the way.
Just look and
Move.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
New York, asshole. Get the fuck out of the fucking way.
It's one thing for me. Like, I'll just knock you down, but she's 5 feet tall. Like, she's having a hard time. So she put her elbows out, and I'm like, hey, go for it. And if someone says something, I'll smack them in the back of the fucking head.
You know who I saw at the Rockefeller Center tree?
No.
One of my very few celebrity seeings. Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker.
I have a picture with Chris Tucker at the fucking Rockefeller Center tree. Go figure.
You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Yeah.
It's nice, dude. What do you mean? What are you bagging on the fucking Rockefeller Center tree for?
And I've been to this
Doesn't like
fucking tree.
anything.
No. It's not like
People
anything.
who come from all over the fucking world to go see that
Yeah,
shit.
to see a
We
fucking
go have
tree
a
that
nice
was cut
burger. He
down,
doesn't
is gonna
like the
die.
burger place. We go look at the tree. He doesn't like the tree.
No, I don't like
Pizza.
hype. I don't like when
Oh.
things are overhyped, and I've seen that
we
tree
go.
enough times with enough people to know there's nothing special or romantic about it. It's a fucking tree that they killed for the amusement of people, and then that's it. And then fucking Christmas is over, and what do they do with the tree? Probably fucking throw it in the dump. Throw it in the Hudson River or something.
It was in a
Girlfriend.
chopper.
Your poor girlfriend. She must be
I'm just saying, you know.
Oh, you.
How special is
Anyway,
it? You know?
aside from that, we also went to the Harry Potter store in New York, which is an
that's
awesome
cool.
experience.
That's cool.
I wouldn't have appreciated it a few months ago before I watched the films. Now that I've watched the films, it made sense seeing some of the stuff. So
Cool.
I got her some Christmas presents. She's watching this. I mean, she already knows what it is anyway. That's not a big deal. We got her like a Sorcerer's Stone, so the first book. It's like a really nice
Illustrated one?
illustrated, and you can open it, and it has like visible pop out. It's
Yes,
really cool for
Sam has them.
for kids at some point. If we ever have kids, like that'll be a great gift to read that to a kid.
Absolutely.
She
said that.
it was raining out, so we got an umbrella, and she's obsessed with this umbrella now.
Was it Hagrid's umbrella?
Yeah, and we got
So cool.
some ornaments for the tree.
Perfect.
look at the
Look at
tree.
the tree. It's so nice.
Yeah, so it was a good trip. It was fun.
You know what I appreciate with the Harry Potter stuff too? It's such a big brand. It's such a conglomerate. But
I never realized
feels,
how crazy
But it never, when you go into the store, it still has a really good feel to it. It's not like, I don't know, overly corporatized shit. It always has the little details and the touches that matter. So it maintains the brand. I feel like when you watch the movies or you read the books or you go to the store, you go to the park, it all has that feel and it all has a care put to it. So it always feels
I'm
nice.
surprised there's not other like really big themed places like a Marvel or Star Wars place. Like,
True.
Because this store is done really, really well. It's 2 floors. It has a section for wands. It has a section for books. It has a section for candy. We got some.
Yes.
We got some. I know it doesn't have alcohol in it, Chris. We got some butter beer.
Oh yeah.
And it was fucking delicious.
Let's go right to the butterscotch.
It was
Got
just
that.
delicious. Yeah.
Love it. Good shit. I'm so glad that Joe's on the Harry Potter train because it's so worth it. It's such a nice thing. It's a great. It's a good escape. It's a nice
Just
escape.
past my generation when it was in its height.
Definitely.
Height when it came out. I was already like not in the age of where I would be interested in this. So.
Makes sense. You bet that's for fucking losers.
Yeah.
He's
When
with
you're
this kid
20,
with this
when
little
you're
fucking
18, I don't want to watch that.
his broken glasses. Nerd.
I don't want to watch Dobby. Hello, Dobby.
Hello, Dobby.
I love you,
Listen,
Dobby.
Dobby's a free elf. All right.
Dobby's good.
Dobby dies, and that's
Dobby. That was the saddest part of like most of the movies. To be honest with me.
choked up here. Dobby.
Man.
CM Punk's gonna say something.
All right, we got CM Punk live on Smackdown. Tell me what's going on
You
here.
know
We
what?
kind of need some volume. We're
Put some
trying to read
volume on this. I wanna
subtitles.
hear
I
this
don't
shit.
think
Said
the
that,
audience
they
will
told me
be.
not to. Anyway, I'm surprised Vince hasn't told him to dye his hair. That's one of the
Vince
things
is
that's
gone, man.
Well, he's
Triple
not
H.
gone.
not gone.
He doesn't have gray hair. It's just faded brown.
He's kind of leaning into being the old guy, right? Like the
Gray
old.
hair.
So right now, what he's talking about, because I've been reading the captions as you guys are talking, is he's asking, so here I am, and I bet all I keep being asked is what brand I'm going to go on, SmackDown or Raw.
Okay.
So that's the. Rob said that made no sense that they killed the owl. I agree. They shouldn't have killed
Poor
Hedwig.
Hedwig.
Hedwig never needed to die.
And then also his death is very sudden and brief.
I didn't believe it in the
So-
book. I thought like it didn't happen. It was just like Hedwig fell and then died. And it's like, well, did he? I don't know.
Somebody had to sacrifice himself so Harry could, live, and it mattered.
But
Hey,
did
look at the
Hedwig's-
Hulkamania. Is it the Hulkamania finger?
Just called out Roman Reigns.
Oh, they still got those in the crowd.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Nice. Oh, he's
Hold
calling
on.
out Roman Reigns. Here we go. So we're going to have the three-way Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk,
I don't want that.
Tryst. Chris doesn't want it.
I don't want a triple threat for the main event of WrestleMania. No.
Can't wait to clip this in like 6 months after WrestleMania and the whole thing happens and it's great and Chris loves it. And
He
then
just
I'm
said,
like,
I'm the OG Paul Heyman guy.
I mean,
He is.
that's like a thing even in the wrestling community where people complain like you don't want a triple threat in the main event of WrestleMania.
oh, sorry. No, I don't even mean
Triple
three-way
threat
fight.
matches are just like kind of sloppy because no, it's not that I don't want him I want him to get his main event. He's been, then everything will be made right in the world.
You can't have
and-
him go in the main event this year and then snide Cody.
No, you
Cody-
have him in the other one.
Cody's
wins.
wrestled more matches than any other wrestler other than, I believe, one other person, like Dominic Mysterio, has had more matches in 2023 than Cody Rhodes. Like, he's
Wait,
wiped
if
his
Cody
ass
Wasn't
last
he
year.
second place?
Second place.
He was second place to Cody Rhodes. Yeah. I would rather, I think Rollins needs something to do. Give him Rollins, and then Cody does Roman. I would rather that. Because who else is Rollins going to go against? Who's he feuding with right now?
Doesn't really have a feud.
They really started it with the whole.
It's just Drew McIntyre, kind of, but it's
Drew McIntyre. I don't know where he fits in, but Oh, Hells is here. Look at that.
What's happening, brother?
Yeah, I guess we're gonna see. He's still talking. It'd be nice if we had a little bit of volume here.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're missing kind of the meat of this.
I would also, you know what I'd be
commentary.
okay with? CM Punk versus LA Knight. Just because their names are similar, you know.
I feel like they're past that. They're gonna have to go straight for the, He's gonna be in this.
Just mentioned
for how long?
LA
You
Knight.
just mentioned LA Knight as I say that. Yeah. All right, so we're.
I know you can't watch us watch this. This is a tough
Yeah.
one here. I can't comment.
Rob was gonna show us all
on
of his
what's going
toys.
on. Yeah, that was gonna fit perfectly into this.
He showed his toys, Ray. He showed the Sergeant's load of toys.
Yeah, he did
There
it quick.
more?
Then he had to run away.
Yeah, he's got to take another shit.
Hey,
He's
listen,
got to eat some
you
peanuts.
gotta
He's
do
in the
what you-
bathroom 45 minutes. That's
you
it.
gotta do what you gotta do. Business
Something wrong
is
with
business.
them bowels there, man. Look at that check.
Somebody's gonna.
He
interrupt
knows
you
that.
in
He
a
does
second.
get him checked. He's got a note for it and everything.
Accommodations.
All right. Well, what are we talking about today? I guess in the meantime.
Listen,
We want to
Well, we had
continue
some-
the conversation from last week. So if you guys watched the show last week, we finished the show talking about what we felt was our personal games of the year. And just to kind of recap that, if you missed it, Chris, you picked Hogwarts. Vin and Rob both picked Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, and no surprise, I picked Street Fighter 6, which actually won Best Fighting Game yesterday. But
He just referenced punching somebody in the face backstage.
awesome.
He just referenced the all out, the brawl out.
Good. Well, we'll
And the crowd is
definitely
going nuts.
revisit this when we can actually watch it with volume.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry, I just read that, and that's
No,
like
it's
a big
good.
deal. He hasn't acknowledged that yet.
Tears of the Kingdom did win Best Action Adventure Game.
Yes.
That was the capitulating award that they got, but it did not win Game of the Year at the awards.
As it shouldn't have.
uh-oh.
If you put up, I haven't even played Baldur's
Oh,
Gate,
no.
but if you put up Baldur's Gate and look at the graphics of that,
I
and then you
couldn't
put
argue
up
that.
Zelda,
So it's
you're
just
gonna
about
tell me
graphics? It's graphics.
graphics
Yeah,
is a part
graphics,
of the fucking
graphics.
scoring system. You can't say
Sorry.
graphics if you're gonna fucking eliminate other people selectively, and then say no,
All
but
right,
graphics
here's the
no.
difference. Here's the difference. Ready? The graphics of Jedi Survivor. I'm sorry. What was it? Was it Jedi Survivor?
Mhm.
So the graphics of Jedi Survivor and the graphics of Tears of the Kingdom, those are two separate things. The graphics in the problems with the graphics in Jedi Survivor are an issue that take you out of the game.
Well, and
In Tears of the Kingdom, it's not a problem. It's not something that pulls you out of it.
Right, because the rest of the game is good enough.
So good. And again, there's that consistency. There's almost that same Grand Theft Auto consistency across the art style where nothing outshines something else. So it's not the graphics that hold that game back. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's not graphics.
I think it holds the game back. I think that it's part of the weight of the decision.
That's
it's part of
fucking
the score.
bullshit, and I'm going to call you out on it because the game, that system's been out since 2016, but you've never played a Legend of Zelda game. So when Ocarina of Time was out in 1998, and it was the epitome of what graphics should look like, you still didn't fucking play it.
That has no bearing on it being game
So
of the year.
don't give me this shit about fucking graphics because
That's
the
still
Legend
true.
of Zelda.
It doesn't matter if I played
That's
it or not
bullshit.
on the
The
N64.
Legend of Zelda has been out
what
for 20
relevance
years.
does that have? There's no fucking relevance.
Because all
to
you
the
keep
task at
harping
hand.
on is the fucking graphics.
So you never
I'm-
played it.
But you
bought it.
bought the game and you're
Bought
not
it.
even playing
Buying
it.
It doesn't matter
Play the
if you're
fucking
gonna
game.
rate a game 100 on a test, and one of the fucking sections on the test it did not get fucking all 100% of the points. It doesn't get game of the year.
It does.
How are you going to tell me a studio that focused so hard and making a game look so good as Baldur's Gate
You didn't
compared
play
to
that either. None of
Zelda,
us have played
where
that.
they
We
took the
can't-
shortcut
we
because the
can't
game was
speak-
good
we
enough?
can't speak to
I should have
Baldur's
went to
Gate.
go take a shit instead.
We can't.
You can look
we
up the
can't
graphics,
speak-
and the
can't
graphics
speak
are
to-
better.
to Baldur's Gate
It
because
checked,
nobody's
it checked
played
all
it.
the boxes. It checked all
I
the
feel like
boxes.
I'm on a
Zelda
message board in
had a half check.
2003.
Game of the year
he's
never is
arguing.
about checking boxes. That's not what a great video game is. That's where I disagree.
I think when you're scoring a game, you score it on what
Because I could
five
go
criteria?
back.
What are the
we
five
could go
criteria
back
we
to
score a
We
game
could go
on?
back to 2017 when Breath of the Wild won Game of the Year, and put it up
Shouldn't have won
against
that year.
graphically superior
Probably
games.
why this didn't win.
Right,
Because
it's a
it's
sequel.
similar to like Ragnarok, which was a better game than the original God of War, but because God of War won Game of the Year that year, and this is a slightly better version of that. And I wouldn't say that Tears of the Kingdom is a slightly better version of Breath of the Wild. It's a bigger, more expansive, redone mechanical game than Breath of the Wild, but it's in the same graphical output as Breath of the Wild. So that's probably why they didn't give it.
Can I
knew-
ask this?
knew it was gonna be
What are
Baldur's
we?
Gate.
What are the five criteria we score a game on?
What
And tell me that graphics isn't one of them
That's
because you're a lying
subjective.
fuck.
I don't score games based off of that.
But what do you score? Five criteria to score Game of the Year.
And
tell me graphics isn't one of them. You liar. You liar.
My criteria is based off of how much I enjoyed the game. Number 2, how enthralled I was in the game, how much it captivated me.
That's the same thing.
One
and two are the same thing.
Making a game could be graphically amazing and still be immersive, and a game could look like Zelda and still be immersive because of the gameplay. Gameplay trumps anything else. There's no other category that I would trump over gameplay. Gameplay
it
is
trump everything else. It doesn't negate everything else.
Main event.
No. You don't get the fucking key point. It doesn't negate everything else. You can work around not having the greatest graphics, and if it's a really good story and if it's really good gameplay, it matters less, but it's still part of the fucking score.
What? Oh my God.
It's still part of the score. How does the game look?
We'll score.
What other things can you rate a game? Playability,
game of
the
year.
story.
But again, this is something where we're talking about two things. We were betting on what would be game of the year by the VGA, right? And then naming our own personal one.
Sure.
And the criteria that they use. What was the last winner? Fucking It Takes Two?
Yeah, not a graphically powerful.
It's
never
not
won.
about
Disagreed
fucking...
with that.
We don't even know what the criteria fucking is. But personally, yeah, it comes up to like... As I get older, it comes up to things like immersion and like what is the challenge of the game? What is making me like psychologically
But if you're looking at
engaged?
graphics alone, I don't think Baldur's Gate out of that list had the best graphics. Alan Wake 2 has better graphics than Baldur's Gate, in my opinion.
Good point.
That's the
Another
thing.
game I
It's
didn't fucking
part
play.
of the scoring system. I'm not saying that it's the only thing that... I never said it's the only
So,
thing that matters,
and this
but it
is
is
not-
a very
okay.
big part of the score.
It's funny because this is the thing. We're not trying to take away from Baldur's Gate by saying Tears of the Kingdom could have won or should have won. Baldur's Gate is a thoroughly great game for a lot of fucking reasons we don't know.
Can I put him
all
in his
the
place right now? Let me do it.
You're not getting-
Chris, what has better graphics, Hogwarts or Starfield?
Oh, listen, Starfield.
Probably Hogwarts, honestly. I mean, I think Starfield has its moments that it has better graphics, but Hogwarts had some... I don't know what
Hogwarts
TV
has
you were
great-
playing. Hogwarts had
Hogwarts has great
phenomenal graphics.
Better than Starfield?
Starfield was 30 frames per second, and I love Starfield, and
That's not
that's why I
graphics,
didn't
though.
choose it for my game of the year. I said I liked it better, but I still went with Hogwarts because it met, I think, more of a rounded criteria, and also because it was a new game. It was a totally new
My
thing.
game of
which
the year is
Starfield
the
was
game
too.
I enjoy playing the most. The one that brings out that...
Super
gotta
Mario
play it.
Brothers
I
1.
can't wait to fucking play it. I can't wait to get home and play it.
But if you were holding an award ceremony, you wouldn't, as a judge, you would
I'm not
know
holding
that
an
you
award
can't
ceremony.
judge a game based off of just how much you liked it. There's no way to score that. I mean, you can score it, but then that's it. You have to judge it on what are the criteria? Replayability, maybe, I don't know, story, graphics,
Gameplay.
immersion or the physics, I
Sound.
don't know what criteria,
Right,
but I
there's
know
no-
that if there's 5, graphics is 100,000% one of them, and you're just lying to yourself if you're saying that it's
I'm
not.
not lying to myself. when I
And
say
if it's
Tears of
a
the
10 out of
Kingdom-
20 graphics,
Nobody's saying that graphics aren't a thing or aren't important or aren't a part of a scoring system. It's not the first thing I look for, though. Otherwise, I wouldn't play video games anymore because not everything is going to be a graphical powerhouse.
I don't expect it to be. But if you're going to be game of the year, which means you are the best of the best, that means that you have to be in the upper echelon of the best graphics. If it doesn't have the best
everything
graphics,
you can do in Tears of the
You
Kingdom.
do realize that Game Awards is
exceeds-
voted by fans, right?
the Game Awards is bullshit. I mean, we clearly see that it's bullshit.
Well, listen, I was gonna say if I pivot heavily, that fucking award show sucked.
It did suck.
There was just a terrible,
It was a snooze fest.
awkward.
We were playing Fortnite. That's how bad it was.
I just didn't care. I was trying to like peek in and
I
look.
didn't watch it.
None of the trailers were like really gripping. Where it was like, oh, I have to see
Well,
this
hold
world
on.
premiere.
Hold on.
It was
World premiere.
It was awkward. They rushed through a few. They didn't let the people who got the award speak. It was just
The guy who ran that
shitty
put out a
E3.
post today and said that they realized that, and as the show went on, they tried to actually extend the amount of time before the music played them off, and they said going forward next year we'll try
Listen,
to keep that in mind.
It's the
so.
Game Trailers of the Year award. It's just a fucking TV show to show
We're trying
trailers.
to turn it into E3
And then
our awards
the
ceremony.
problem is they're not getting Microsoft and fucking PlayStation or Sony to fully participate because they're holding their own shows. They're not always putting in all of their best stuff. We have not seen, it's December, and you don't think Sony and Microsoft have a ton of good shit ready to show? They probably have a lot of good games on the burner that they're going to show us in the spring, But right now, they just put the fucking TV show back on. But
Do we not?
It was a big deal.
the
what just
video
happened.
game awards
Yeah,
are
muted
just
because we
kind
missed
of
the best part already.
Yeah, the video game awards have just lost their luster.
Couple of points I want to make about the video game awards. One, the big thing coming out of it is the guy who plays Kratos. I forget his name off the top of my head.
Christopher Judge.
Christopher Judge.
Oh, he nailed it.
He made a funny little jab at Call of Duty. He said that my speech last year was longer than a campaign of Call of Duty, which got and now today I was reading that a bunch of developers for Call of Duty were like, it's not nice. You shouldn't say that. But I mean,
I did follow it up with say there's a company I never worked for.
He did, yeah.
What?
I didn't think it was too bad of a zinger. It's not like he said fuck them. It was
Just going on online and commenting back at it shows that it hit a nerve.
Yeah.
You should just if it didn't matter if the game was good, you wouldn't say something. But
Well,
you
it
feel
was self-deprecating in what he said.
Yeah,
too.
and when you're getting defensive about it, it's like, the game's too fucking short. Every single person who's ever touched that game said, "What was that?
Read it, boy.
Come on."
God forbid somebody criticizes the worst fucking thing to happen to war video games, which I'm talking about Call of Duty, Hells. I'm sorry, but even though I like Warzone, Call of Duty is the worst thing that ever happened to war games because every other good war game IP was killed by Call of Duty. It was the McDonald's of video games. It was the cheese. It was the cheap Big Mac that everybody liked. I always thought Call of Duty was like fucking war on Coke and fucking Red Bull. It's too fast. You're just running top speed. There's no weight to it. Call of Duty, we could have Medal of Honor right now. We could have SOCOM.
Battlefield.
We could have Battlefield. All these other games that have fallen by the
Would you say
wayside.
Fortnite is a better game than Call of Duty?
Fortnite, I think, is actually the worst thing to happen. But at least Fortnite is kind of, I don't know, fuck Fortnite.
Now, I've said fuck Fortnite, and I've been on record to say fuck Fortnite because it deserved it in the beginning. But I've been playing it recently because of the Peter Griffin skin they put out, and I've actually put out a couple of real life Peter Griffin streams, as with using the skin. And, some of those game modes have vastly improved upon the gameplay. You can play with no building, so you don't get these, 14-year-olds that, you shoot one bullet and they're, 40 feet in the fucking air, 3 seconds later. You don't have that. They have vehicles that you can drive around. They have interesting weapons. None of them are based in reality. They're just kind of cartoony assault rifles.
What do you think my biggest gripe is against Fortnite?
The graphics. But guess what?
I'm consistent with my gripes.
But not for nothing, the engine is fantastic.
Oh, it's smooth. It's unreal.
It's smooth as fuck. It's the only
Starfield's graphics aren't that good.
Things run really smooth when you sacrifice good graphics.
And I will say that there is a game mode now that may pique your interest, and now they have a Lego mode that's survival. That's very much Lego Minecraft. So if you're into Legos and you're into Minecraft, even Battle Royale aside, you might find fun in the building aspect of it.
I don't like mixing I don't want to bring Lincoln Logs to a Battlefield.
The fucking NPCs
It's not a Battlefield, though.
Starfield
It's literally
look like
Minecraft
right now.
It's literally Lego
Great.
Another thing that ruined video games.
No, you know what's going to happen? You're going to play with us once, and then you're going to be like, all right. And then
Chris
you're
will
gonna buy
never
the
fucking
fucking
ever.
Obi-Wan Kenobi
Chris will
skin.
never play it ever. I fucking said it. I was playing it last night, and I go, wow, Chris is never going to fucking play this.
I have played it.
It's Minecraft. It's literally Minecraft. No, you haven't. You haven't played it.
Played Fortnite.
No, the Lego thing.
Not the Lego. Yeah, that.
I just said it. I go, he's not going to touch this for two reasons. It's fucking Fortnite. And two, it's a replacement for Minecraft where he has put 2,500 fucking hours. I just feel the resentment towards anything.
Could be building on Totel. I pay for a server, and we're going to be playing Legos in a game that nobody's going to play in another year.
Minecraft. And it's such a clear, kind of copy of Minecraft.
How does it stack up next to Minecraft as far as ability to create and the vastness of the worlds that they're
not
in?
Tapped into that, but because there is a Tears of the Kingdom level building system where you can get mechanical in it, it really will probably exceed what Minecraft can do, because it was always one of my wishes for Minecraft was that there was a pulley system or something that had gears, something that could you could access.
And let's face it, they're getting a lot more
Doors.
revenue through Fortnite than they are through Minecraft. So
and it has the Lego charm. It's hard to beat when it has smooth and it has smooth graphics, very nice graphics.
Frame rate's great.
Very consistent Unreal Engine 5 stuff going on. Chris hates that too. It was I could check these boxes and go, Chris will never fucking play this game ever. I showed him today on my iPad because I had remote play going.
Well, I didn't even know what it was. I was
like,
kind of confused by what you were telling me because you were like Fortnite Legos, and I was like,
yeah, it's confusing.
But I never heard of it, until you mentioned it earlier.
You know what,
so.
Chris? When the
And it's
episode
free.
ends, I'm
It's
gonna show
free.
you my room.
It's
We're gonna
fucking
pull it up.
I'm
totally
not gonna
free.
come. I'm not gonna go.
He's
have
never
it.
gonna touch
I'm
it.
not gonna watch.
He's
I'm
not
not
going
even
to
gonna watch
download it. He's not going to watch you play it.
I despise Fortnite. I fucking hate
What
Epic
are your
Games. I
specific
hate
reasons?
the fucking Tim Sweeney, the CEO of fucking Epic Games, is the biggest fucking
He's kind of a
jerks
lying
off to a
sack of
fucking
shit.
Sierra Magazine's
He's a
fucking
liar.
pussy
He's
little
just a liar.
motherfucker.
He's just mad he doesn't have the same control that Apple has. That's his
Tim
big gripe.
Sweeney, yeah, I fucking hate Tim Sweeney. I hate Fortnite. I played it. I thought it sucked. I thought it was, if
Now, are you basing this on original Fortnite, like when it first came out?
Doesn't even matter.
Because I will
yeah,
tell
but
you
it's
that's a
not.
completely
It's not
different
just
game
the
than it
building.
was.
The building was fucking stupid too, in my mind. It's just I just hate it. If I'm gonna play a war game, I want my heart to be racing, and I want to feel like I'm on a battlefield.
It's not a war
I
game.
like hiding in a fucking bush in a ghillie suit for fucking 10 minutes while the gas is closing in, and just Fortnite
They're
doesn't do it for me.
parachuting in on a flying bus going to Salty Soutine.
Exactly.
talking- it's not
The
a war
game
game.
starts with you flying on a
kids.
bus like it's the fucking magic. It's a game for kids. It's a game for children. But if you're a grown fucking man, you eat a steak. You don't eat a fucking
Taco
microwave. Yeah, you don't eat Taco Bell. You eat a steak. All right. So fuck
Says
that
the guy
game.
that eats Taco Bell.
Yeah, well, that's out of necessity.
Yeah,
It's all about the man podcast.
I want to give them their credit where they've evolved the game multiple times. It's become such a tremendous
Yeah, they added
success.
skins.
No, because the game first started as a
He's on a
tower,
roll today.
a tower defense
Piss and vinegar. My head hurts.
builder. It was literally going to be a zombie tower defense building game. It was going to be like Call of Duty zombies, but you could build your own traps and try to hoard them into fucking. It was a whole different game they were building. That was the original concept for Fortnite.
Yeah.
I played the beta. I was hyped about it.
Right.
Anyone who knows me, I talked about it in the running up to.
Oh, God.
But then
everybody was telling me,
PUBG
Chris, you're gonna love this game, Chris.
But then
this game, Chris.
But then PUBG happened and the
Better
Battle
game.
Royale.
That was it.
So once the Battle Royale was born, and PUBG deserves all the credit for creating that, they just copied it. They literally were just like, oh, we'll just do that too. To the point where
Yeah,
PUBG,
and then they'll try to say, well,
PUBG sued them.
actually, PUBG stole from fucking whatever
That's
game.
true, yeah.
Which
The comment section got something to say about it.
PUBG was a better game than Fortnite.
PUBG was a lot of
should have been
fun.
the one
I
that
love
survived. There should have been Fortnite that fell by the wayside, and PUBG should be the number one
PUBG
game.
Yeah, but
was
you're not going up against Unreal and
PUBG
Epic
was
Games.
more
Epic
based
Games
in
has
realism.
existed. You know how old Unreal Tournament is? Unreal Tournament's the original FPS
Well, that's why people like
competition game next to Quake. I think it was the first. I remember.
And you had a
But
team,
anyway,
team
on a fucking Fortnite tangent.
Yeah, what was the name of that other game?
Team Fortress?
Team Fortress. Yeah,
That was
it's
even-
similar to that.
No, because that was who made Half-Life.
But you know what I'll say too?
Different studio.
Because I think it is also Unreal Engine.
Valve.
Valve, right?
I would rather play.
Valve made their own engine
What's
as
the
a
name of
Valve
that
engine.
game? It's a very popular fucking shooter game. Fuck. The commercial had like the gorilla and nerf this.
Overwatch.
Overwatch. I'd rather play Overwatch than Fortnite. Overwatch is a
cool.
better
It's
game
different-
than
different kind of
Overwatch
game,
is a
too.
different kind of game, though.
It's pretty similar to me, honestly. When I play the
honestly
two,
more
very
like the
cartoony.
Crucible from fucking Destiny than it is anything else. It's like 5-on-5, like capture the base or eliminate each other kind of.
Sorry, Cody Rhodes is on screen right now with CM Punk.
All right, guys, let's go back. We're watching SmackDown in the background. Joe, give us the play-by-play.
Well,
So right now, CM Punk is in the office. He's trying to decide whether he's going to sign a SmackDown contract or a Raw contract. And he did make a comment before he dropped the mic in the ring that he's going to finish his story, and his story is main eventing WrestleMania. And that's pretty much been Cody Rhodes' entire story since he's come back. So that was a little bit of a clash there. Very cool. They're doing a lot of cool things. I wish I was watching this and not on the podcast right now or taking a shit and watching it.
the rest of the show sucks. It's only these highlights.
Was that the
are
first
pretty
time we're getting Cody and CM Punk?
No,
on,
they're a little bit in AEW's.
No. I'm just saying WWE.
Oh,
was.
yes.
This story arc. First time they're on screen together.
No, Cody was there when he was like Stardust and he was like, dashing Cody Rhodes.
But in this era.
But in this era, as the American Nightmare, no.
Cool. All right, that's awesome. Something's happening. Things are happening. Things are brewing here. We're
This
definitely
is good. This is nothing but good.
getting close to the road to WrestleMania. Back to the Game of the Year awards, though. One of the other big things that came out of it, at least to me, I don't think it actually got a lot of attention, but I think it's really cool, is there's a Blade game coming out.
Right.
And it's made by Bethesda and Arcane Studios. And Arcane Studios made Deathloop, I think. And I think they also made...
it has the same graphics as Deathloop, but how do you feel about those graphics?
They're better than Fortnite graphics. They're better than Zelda graphics. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
Anything the same.
They're a little arcadey, but they're much better graphics. Yeah,
All right, we're reaching.
The more I listen to
and it's Bethesda,
and it's better gameplay.
the more I listen to you, the more I'm going to turn into Fester. Like,
Have you played Deathloop?
yeah,
it was terrible.
it's all right.
All right.
Well, you didn't like it because it was a Bethesda.
You know
game.
what the interesting thing with the Blade game was? I know you said it's a Bethesda game. We know Bethesda is owned by Microsoft now.
It is Microsoft
But-
only.
Apparently, it was assumed this would be an exclusive. It was not announced as an exclusive, and then they reached out for comment about it, and they won't answer whether it is or is not an exclusive.
It'd be interesting if it's like Xbox gets Blade and fucking
I don't
Sony
think
gets
they'll do
Spider-Man.
that. I don't think. So this goes back to a thing I've said before. It doesn't move systems, right? No one's buying Xbox to play Blade. All right, let's admit it now. I don't give a fuck what the game looks like, how it plays, how great it is. No, it's not moving systems. So for Bethesda, and Microsoft, it's a business decision. Do we want to sell this fucking game to more people or try to sell consoles?
The one game that I thought I probably was the only one that I paid attention to is that Hideo Kojima game, OD, which is a Microsoft Studios game.
Very weird trailer.
I don't like
Very
fucking
weird
trailers that are
teaser.
showing me nothing and just the facial animations.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could pour every pixel of a game engine into the face and make it look real. Does it look real when you blow up into an entire environment? I hope so.
And not in a cutscene.
We need it. We need it. We're sick
And
of
also,
this.
it made no
sick of
sense.
this.
You couldn't discern what was really going on. They just keep repeating this weird phrase, like the fuzzy yellow elephant bear.
It's a fucking alpha beta test. It's
I
just
get
like
that.
you're showing me.
It's
The other
just- it
thing
was
that was like
technical.
really
I was more confused and baffled by it than I was excited. I mean, I love it. We talk about Kojima all the time. We love Metal Gear.
It's big, Joe. Why is it big? Because of what it was.
Well, it's because he's removed from Konami and now he's doing video games for Microsoft, which is something I never thought I would see.
Speaking
Japanese
of Kojima,
developer.
we did. I did post something for before I forget. For the Fortnite stream, we ended up posting something with
Solid Snake.
Solid Snake, David Hayter. I was trying to
yes.
think of his name, David Hayter.
Lukovic.
Perfect.
But it was it ended up getting liked by him on Twitter, which is pretty sick.
Yeah,
So,
we were watching
we'll
for
tie
that. We're like, did he like it yet? Did he like it? I finally liked it.
And it's really funny because of the timing, because they announced Solid Snake and Peter Griffin for the same season, and I had never played Metal Gear Solid until we started talking about it recently, and I'm still on Peace Walker. So it's just funny how the timing. It's like the guy that does the real life Peter Griffin is like into Metal Gear Solid right now, and then they just announced two characters.
Everything lined up perfectly.
Just funny.
So from that trailer, though, we did see,
I still want to hear what Joe had to fucking say. What are we
know.
doing here?
We were going to talk
What are
about
we
the trailer. I'm
doing?
kicking it back to him. We're talking about what he said about the trailer. So from the trailer,
Well, I was just saying it's a significant moment when you have someone who's been developing mostly for Japanese branded consoles like Sony and Konami, which is a publisher, and now he's strictly going to be doing an exclusive game, not Death Stranding. It was a PlayStation game. This
did
is
anybody
now
play that?
an Xbox game. We cut each other off way too much.
Well, you brought up Death Stranding.
I'm thinking
finish what I was
about
saying, though.
trying to edit this, and I just can't.
Yeah.
This will be
Don't look
You know
at
how
me
long
because
this is gonna take?
I don't.
It's gonna take me hours.
It's what happens when you have people who have ADHD. It's a sin. It's all right.
Mania.
All right.
The
But
other
you brought
thing-
up Death Stranding.
The other thing that's really alarming about the show, albeit that was a cool
Our show?
tease, the Game Awards show. It was the game trailer show, but there really wasn't anything on there that I would stick my money on and buy, which is an alarming thing because I don't know how 2024 is starting to shape up. There's nothing as of right now other than the
Wolverine?
Harley Quinn game. No,
They
that
didn't
wasn't
show
it.
it.
So
They didn't show
nothing.
nothing.
We have no idea when that's coming out. It could come at 2025, 2026. We have no idea.
All right, I'm just gonna say it, and we're not gonna jump ahead, but it got overshadowed, and I'm not gonna say by what, but the whole. And as far as I was concerned, I watched the entire Video Game Awards, going, I don't give a shit about any of this because all I care about is one thing. So we'll talk about that later. But it was overshadowed.
I wonder.
Every way.
Here's what I wonder.
And was that on purpose?
Oh, here's what I wonder though. Do you think the Game Awards reached out to Rockstar to see if they would want to unveil the trailer for GTA on the show?
No, because nobody knew outside of that office when that was coming, and we knew, what, 7 days in advance, and it still fucking leaked? Nobody knew about that thing. That thing was kept under lock and key, absolute secrecy up until the week before we found out, and it lasted 6 days. We didn't even make it a week before that thing leaked. That was, and I don't want to pivot to that whole conversation, but it was overshadowed. The entire Video Game Awards, nothing outshone. Joe, you made a prediction, and unfortunately it didn't come true, that Wolverine would get a preview. We'd maybe get a little...
I also said Fable, and they didn't even show that. They didn't show anything.
Wasn't there some kind of trailer for Fable
last year? But here's the problem: they're waiting for these Gamecom or Sony State of Plays. Right. So these console makers, they're waiting for their own shows. That's why they moved away from E3. Yeah. There's no more E3. It's fucking dead. Nobody goes to that. Nobody shows anything anymore. So the norm of how they're presenting their software and their hardware updates are strictly stream.
Apple style.
Apple style. Yeah. And it's their own thing. It's their own event. They're not using anybody else to get over their stuff.
It takes away from the community of it.
I think it makes it less magical. Because I used to I remember E3 and these big events, it was cool. Like you look forward to it, and Game Informer magazine, and you would read about this shit.
I got a job at EB Games at one point in the early 2000s because they were sending employees to E3 for free. I was like, I want to go. I want to see that.
I'll work there.
Yeah,
Electronics Boutique, sign me up.
There's that Funko. There was EB Games,
Software, etc.
Yep, and they were all of them were just rolled up in the GameStop.
GameStunk.
Just some of the comments here. Mike.P said the Video Game Awards had 220,000 streams. Rockstar posting it on their YouTube broke records. It broke Guinness.
I will get into that. I have that actually in detail.
And so many measures. Yeah, we'll be talking about GTA soon.
An awful amount.
But yes, the Game Awards was outshadowed. I'm trying to think of, the main thing of note, I think, that we were all talking about as far as the Game Awards go. Mike.P also mentioned this. Spider-Man didn't win shit.
0 for 7.
0 for 7.
0 for 7. They were nominated, heavily nominated.
I think, I'm not going to be like, I said this. It just, because it was such a continuation of the original and had nothing else to really make it feel, like a Tears of the Kingdom, separate itself as a sequel of the same series. It really suffered in so many ways, in some storytelling ways. I think it's sometimes, and when I hear the developer talk, it's almost like an abuse of the license. This is going to sell now. It's Spider-Man, it sells. We did a great one on the first one, so we're going to do whatever we want on the second one. I will give them the benefit of the doubt that they wanted to do Wolverine, and I just don't know if Spider-Man 2 was their full focus, but I don't know. It didn't feel like it. It definitely felt like rushed. Just something about it didn't have what really drew me into the first one. And it was disappointing. And I'd also say Starfield didn't get nominated for anything, but whatever, it's all right.
Should have been. Is any question? How long ago did Spider-Man come out now?
2018.
No, this most recent Spider-Man game.
Came out on my birthday.
October.
Your birthday? October what?
20th.
October 20th. So it's a month and a half. What did I say? I said a month and a half from now. I said nobody's ever gonna play that game again.
No, New Game Plus will be out and a DLC.
I still didn't play it. I don't have it.
People will revisit that game.
DLC will come out, but that's not
game of the year.
Game.
But that doesn't make it a shitty game. So we can't get on that horse.
And Rob, I never said that it was a shitty game. Just that it. I think I did call it a. What I call games sometimes.
Jerk off rag game?
Yeah. Which it doesn't qualify as that because it doesn't come out yearly.
But you bought it.
It's good.
I did buy it, and that's the thing. I bought it against my better judgment because you guys shamed me.
That's not true.
You shamed me.
Don't point at me.
Not even that.
Yeah, you didn't.
It's not a shitty game. It's not like you bought a game and it's like, oh, this sucks. It's just not game of the year. There's a difference.
It gives me no urge. I have no urge to. I haven't even gotten the Symbiote. I just don't care.
I don't know.
He fails
Negative Nancy. You don't like the fucking Rockefeller tree. You won't watch Donnie Brasco. You hate the Big Lebowski quotes. What do you like? Tell me what you like.
I told you guys we shouldn't have watched the Big Lebowski.
All American burgers like Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
It is. It's the Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh, I didn't get one.
I hate when things are overhyped. It never lives up to the hype. Spider-Man did not deserve Game of the Year. It was decent.
Nobody
game.
expected it to be Game of the Year.
That's not true. A lot of people did. And if you look at the comments, look at the comments. Look at the comments of our videos.
The first game won Game of the Year.
Sure, yeah, and maybe that one
was a
deserved
great
it, but
game.
this one did not. And if you look at the comments on the video where I'm saying it doesn't deserve Game of the Year, there were people who said that was the best game that they played in 5 years.
You're listening to the comments in our videos. Somebody in the comment section said I sound like Joe Rogan. I sound nothing like Joe Rogan.
I wish you sound like Joe Rogan. It'd be help us.
I'm just saying, but the point was you said that nobody said that. There were idiots out there that said that Spider-Man 2 was the best game they played in 5 years.
It does annoy me.
That's sad. That's sad.
It does annoy me when I see the most recent tweets today that say, "Oh, what a travesty that Spider-Man didn't win Game of the Year," and they show like a cutscene, and I'm like, "That's not. It just doesn't compete with what should be Game of the Year. It's not as good as Tears of the Kingdom. It's not as good as Baldur's Gate, even though I didn't play it. I could just kind of look at it and go like, wow, the depth of this game, the choice, the options, the graphics, whatever you want to fucking say. Spider-Man's on rails. And for a game that's like technically free roam, but on rails, all of the story needs to hit home even more than in other games.
It's free roam inside a maze. That's what it is.
Right, that's a good point.
And it's empty, vacuous, empty-headed NPCs.
Nothing there.
The NPCs have no life in them.
I have a question.
There at least are NPCs, unlike Elden Ring.
They're just garnish.
I have a question now.
Yeah, it's a great way of putting it.
For all of Chris's Game of the Year qualifiers, is anybody here going to play Baldur's Gate 3?
No.
I want to. I want to. It's like Donnie Brasco. You know, it's on the list, but it might be on the list indefinitely.
For 25
7 years later.
I hear a lot of good things. It's just I know it's very time-consuming.
So if Game of the Year doesn't sell a game, then what's the fucking point?
Well, you know,
I didn't play It Takes Two. Or all these other jerk-off rag games that the Game Awards keep picking as Game of the Year.
Look, I mean, Taylor Swift might win Album of the Year. None of us are listening to that shit.
We're not the audience for that.
I'm just proving a point. It shows the irrelevance of the video Game of the Year.
Absolutely. It's totally irrelevant. It's like the Grammys and the Oscars. I never watched any of that shit.
No.
You know, it's all been fucking bullshit.
Well, let's
segue into
so Game of the Year.
Segue into what we feel is going to be Game of the Year for 2025.
We want to cut right to it.
2025.
We're talking about
24.
games. Yeah.
All right.
Well, I don't even know what's coming in 25.
What are you, dumb?
Nothing matters.
Look at the fucking. I'm supposed to know what games are coming out in 2025.
Didn't you put
I
our
pay
thumbnail
attention
up?
to that shit.
Are you?
Oh, yeah, one game. We know that's winning.
It's the only game.
But I'm saying
there's
I don't know any other games.
game that will ever compete with Game of the Year in 2025.
Do you watch the show?
You're trying to
We
segue specifically to.
We're all talking about games. We might as well talk
fucking
about
headache. I'm all worked up.
That's it. He's dead.
All right, so
Another Baja Blast. That's it.
this week we saw one of the most important things in like entertainment history to ever happen.
And we did a very in-depth, shot-by-shot,
Thorough.
thorough breakdown of every single scene
I really
of that.
enjoyed that.
Yeah. It was a project of passion. Yeah. Couldn't wait to do it. Couldn't wait to talk about it.
Vin notices all the little nuances. He notices, oh, look at a guy over there taking a picture of his girl's ass on the beach. I didn't even notice that until you brought.
There's a lot of stuff like that.
There's a lot of stuff. That's good.
So we're talking about Grand Theft Auto 6, officially named, predicted here on the show. We knew it would be a 6 because if you called it anything else, it'd be the dumbest fucking move in video game history.
And the Roman numerals VI.
Vice.
With Vice, come on.
I did call that it's going to be Vice City. I did call that it was going to be 2025. And I did call that it was going to be a female protagonist. I did say all of that.
Okay, but you didn't call that we would see it in the trailer. Our predictions were trailer specific.
I did say that we're going to see locales and scenes in cars and things like that.
Let's frame this into a segment.
Do it.
What did we get right? What did we get wrong? As far as what we predicted for GTA 5.
Right. I guess the time, 60 seconds, 90
seconds. Grand Theft Auto 6, not 5. I don't know why you said 5. We're so used to saying Grand Theft Auto 5.
Did I say
Chris
5?
subconsciously said Grand Theft Auto 5. Yeah, I'm going to revisit that. I'm going to rewind it, clip it back.
10 years.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
10 years.
So Grand Theft Auto 6, what did we get right? What did we get wrong?
Well, I think we got right. Half of us got right.
What did you say? Speak for yourself. What did you get right? What did you get wrong?
I just said that.
Oh, well, fucking wrap it up. What else did you get right and wrong?
That was it. I said female protagonist. I said 2025, and I said it was going to be in Miami. But I said 70s, and I said a 60-second trailer, and I said...
You said no characters would be in that.
I said they wouldn't show the main character yet. They would just kind of tease some characters and people walking and some locales and cars and streets and things like that. A little bit of the engine, a little bit of, Listen, all things aside, the cartoony graphics still take away of what they can actually do with this game. But I have never seen a game with this much detail and depth and just amount of things going on in motion simultaneously. So after watching it over and over and over and then watching the stream that you guys did, my hype went from about a 7 to a 10. Yeah! I'm there. I'm right there.
Rob.
I was totally wrong. I said it was going to be under 60
Hey,
seconds.
baby.
I said that we're going to have any of the main characters. I didn't think we were going to get any kind of really cutscene. I thought they were going to just kind of show like birds flying and some palm trees and maybe like a car zoom, and then it would be like fucking whatever the year,
like a teaser.
I didn't expect them to give us as much as they did initially, and I think it's smart what they did, because now people are foaming at the bits, and it's like, oh my god, I have to have this fucking game, and then they're gonna hit us in the 6 months with like a pre-order for it, and they're gonna make filthy money.
God,
filthy.
Yeah, they are.
Chris, what were your predictions? What were you right about? What were you wrong about?
Can't keep track. I mean, I feel like throughout I've always said like I don't know or I don't want to say. I've been
That's
very
a cop-out.
I know, but I'm just saying I've been very apprehensive because I just assume that I will end up being wrong, and I'm usually not wrong. So, what did I get? I'm trying to think of what did I get wrong.
Just because you say I don't know doesn't then make you right later.
Oh, I know. I'm not, I'm just saying I've been very apprehensive to make any predictions because I expect that everything would just be shattered or wrong.
It's like every Italian. It's like, but what the fuck do I know? So they can take
it's a cop out,
liability out of it.
Hey, let me out of this. I don't even want to.
All due respect.
I gotta go.
I'm just in order that I can remember. I did get right that it would be 90 seconds. It was like
Nailed it.
90 seconds on the money, which I thought was the perfect sweet spot. I did think that they would introduce the character, and that we would get some just lines of dialogue and maybe like a name drop, which we only got the female character's name. We didn't actually hear the guy that's supposed to be called Jason. We never actually heard his name dropped.
Trust,
yeah.
Trust.
We saw, what they both look like. What did you probably know better than me. What did I get wrong? What did I say? Oh, well, the time frame, I said that I thought it would come out. I was a little optimistic. I said I thought it would be a fall 2024, which would be 1 year.
We wish.
And, that was perhaps a little optimistic. But I did also say that they would do fall 24 and then that it would get delayed until the beginning of 2025.
Right.
So maybe they had the foresight, like, hey, we don't want to delay this. Let's just do it at that time because that's the right time. But could you imagine if it came out December 2025? That would just boil motherfuckers.
Don't say things
That'd be 2 years away.
It makes me angry.
It's definitely going to come
imagine?
out fall. It's like September.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's finish the circle.
You heard
we got a lot of
morsel.
things to. There's a lot to cover here. I'm telling you, more than that trailer, there's so much to talk about.
I want to hear what you had in terms of analytics. In terms of you had some stuff that you wanted to show off.
I do
because the mere scope of the amount of people and eyeballs that trailer reached, it just shows you how large a medium video games are. Still,
absolutely
artwork that you can live in and experience and play and have fun with. I mean, it's a movie. A movie's great, but you're not in it and playing.
But congressmen want it removed because they're twerking on top of cars.
Oh, wow.
Listen, that's how you know all is right in the world.
Yes.
I will say, I look. All right, first, all my predictions were wrong. I was pretty much wrong about when, wishful thinking, how long the trailer was going to be. I thought it was going to be a voiceover where we'd hear the main character, but we wouldn't necessarily see them. They gave us way more than I ever expected. They gave us everything we needed without giving away too much. It is shockingly great to see this game finally in the light of day. No leaks, no bullshit, none of this fucking, look how bad it looks. Look how... Every single comment on this thing is, holy shit. To your point, look at the detail. Look at the density. I did predict that part, or that was what I was alluding to with the question I had.
Yep.
Do you want fidelity or do you want density? Do you want scale?
I think they did both.
They really have balanced both, and that's what I said. I said Rockstar knows how to do both.
You did nail that.
They are absolutely incredible at doing that. This project is a project of passion. You can look at it in its incredible detail and go, they've spared no expense. They have not
overlooked
a thing.
Makes a lot of sense why it took them so long to make this game.
Absolutely.
Because instead of doing what so many other game developers do, where they come out with a game every year, the same game, Assassin's Creed or
Call of
whatever one of the
Duty,
other type of games, Call of
Madden,
Duty, you can't really
NBA
appreciate.
2K.
You can't appreciate all of the improvements that they make because they're so minor. But when you go from such a jump from 5 to 6, 10
It's
years.
shocking.
Ben, run us through the analytics here.
I mean, the analytics are staggering, and I just want to hit on really probably 4 main ones. First of all, it's 90 seconds long. It accrued 90 million views in one day, 24-hour period. 90 million. 8.9 million likes, which they say is a large percentage of views that are organic and not ad-based. Right. Everyone sought this out.
Yeah, there's not bots liking that. There's real people liking that shit.
It broke 3 Guinness World Records. It beat Mr. Beast in one category, which I guess is a huge thing. I knew Chris would love that one. When I saw the headline, Mr. Beast.
I don't hate Mr. Beast.
No.
I just don't understand why he would be the most viewed
Shitty
thing over
burgers.
like GTA.
I heard that.
Burgers is terrible.
129 million views on YouTube so far. In comparison, GTA 5, which came out 12 years ago, the trailer on YouTube, just hit 100 million views.
Wow.
Guinness Book of World Record.
Could that be a testament, though, to the fact that YouTube, I mean, it was a juggernaut even 10 years ago, but, could one argue that maybe there's other reasons why it was outviewed, like it was viewed in different mediums 10 years ago?
About 12 years, and you're talking a week.
Yeah.
That's a stagger. That's just a
staggering
number. It's just to Joe's point, the growth of the medium, the growth of video games over that 10-year period, the generations who have
Growth of that brand.
the
Grand
Fortnite
Theft Auto
generation
brand.
who grew up in that time period and are now old enough to buy the next
Oh,
game.
you see, that's what I can't
Okay.
wait. These little fuckers that have no idea what a real good video game is, they're going to learn with GTA 6, and they'll never want to play that Fortnite shit again.
So it broke, of course, the most viewed YouTube video in 24 hours, which was a non-music videos apparently, or any new song, Drake, Bad Bunny. I think Drake holds the most. I didn't look
Our
it up.
show is second place. For most
But it was previously held by Mr. Beast for his Every Country on Earth Fights for $250,000. The third Guinness Book of World Records that the video game trailer broke was that it received the 8.9 million likes in 24 hours. That's staggering. There's nothing on Earth that will do that. You couldn't come up with anything, any movie or any other game series that could possibly do
it
this.
would have to be a disaster, or it'd have to be like the second coming of Christ. or
People are
something.
frothing at the mouth for this. This is like an absolute. I don't even know how we're gonna get to 2025 at this rate when we've seen just this much.
So speaking of frothing in the mouth, I just want to question for the group, go around the room, and I'm going to start with him before he fucking falls asleep because he's already snoring on me.
I'm not snoring.
Help!
Help!
Everybody saw the trailer. We loved the trailer. We dissected the trailer. We broke it down. Give me one thing about one or two things, don't take too long, that really stood out to you that are just mind-blowing and you just could not grasp what you were seeing. Rob?
The size of those asses, man.
Oh, man, you beat me to it. That was mine. I was going to say that. I couldn't wait.
He had
He took it from me.
Thick.
Okay.
Crocodile shoes.
And they looked real. Like they
jiggled.
nailed the ass. There was so much ass in
Going
that
right to
trailer.
the strip club.
Oh my god, that was
Even Michael, the voice actor of Michael, went on record to say he was like, I was surprised how big the asses were. In the trailer.
but not just how big, like the jiggle and like the. It looks so real. Like they must have had some girl twerking with fucking like diodes on her
Well,
ass.
they based it on footage, like actual footage.
Well, no,
Not
but
only that,
no.
not
The
only
original
that,
girl
but
twerking on the
yes.
car in real life did not have an ass like that. They had to have taken an actual lady.
Oh, they did.
I'd like to
and
meet
put
that mocap girl.
little diode things to capture the waveforms moving across the ass in order to get it like that. Like that was incredible.
I want
This
that
is-
job at Rockstar, studying all the
Yeah.
to get it
I'll
right.
take the ass motion capture job.
What else, Rob? What else?
I mean, the fidelity looked great, like you guys said. It looks like a lived-in world. You know, I'm really looking forward to it. I think that it's going to be, you know, That's an example of one of those games where you're going to look at your friend list on the system and it's going to be all the same game again.
It's
one of those titles that really brings friends groups back together. Everybody's going to want a piece of it. And especially with the trailer, in respect to that, love or hate GTA, you watch that trailer because you were curious.
Everybody but Elon Musk, apparently.
Yeah, well, fuck it.
What a fucking loser.
Stupid.
Jesus,
fuck.
what a
sorry,
way to
sorry.
lose.
I didn't mean to do it.
Yeah,
I didn't
listen.
mean to do it. I just.
I hope they fucking smoke everybody in this game. If they're gonna go modern day, current everything, everyone deserves to get burned to the fucking ground. From Elon Musk, from right to left, to up to down. You're all fucking loser assholes. Everyone generally falls kind of in the middle
Well,
of
they're
all
going
the
to have
bullshit.
a Tesla mock-up, and they're going
Destroy,
to
annihilate. It should drive for 30 miles and break fucking down. Yeah. I really, at this point, I am not fucking really happy with what I'm seeing in that regard. Anyway, thanks, Chris.
Few things that stood out to me that I've never seen in a game, and I would hope one day that we could see them. And now that we have next-gen consoles and power and hardware, like the hair.
Damn it! You stole mine. Fuck.
That's fine. You can go off that.
Yeah.
The hair is the best moving looking hair I've ever seen in a video game to date. There is nothing. I hope that it looks like that when it releases because it's exceptional, and I think that's just going to add a layer of realism and immersion into the game when you're really looking into the eyes of these characters and they're coming to life because they're able to flip their hair at a beach or at a party or at a whatever. The other thing that really stood out to me is the amount of different shapes of NPCs there are. There was not one NPC on the beach or in the strip club or in the cars or anywhere that looked the same. One girl was thick, one girl was skinny, one girl was medium, they were all different shapes and sizes. They were all wearing a different article of clothing. No pattern was the same, no color was the same. Like everything was different. Like they are actual people and they are completely different people. Yes. I have never seen anything even remotely like that in a video game. Like that was unbelievable.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, we were talking about that in the breakdown, that the spectrum of just like skin color, and you had really pale sunburnt people to really dark. There wasn't like 8 different colors just reused or 8 different body types reused. 100%, man. That was I agree. I'll go next, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't not reiterate the number one thing that stood out to me was the ass. I mean, just like
I'm an ass man.
Because I watched that and I was like, like if you ever seen any other video game, if there was somebody twerking, it looks like a polygon, just fucking like whatever. The ass was truly amazing. I left that trailer.
Nobody's gonna complain getting the behind view of the main character. I'm telling you that.
Not a chance.
But since that was already taken,
that booty had bump mapping.
Oh my god, it was remarkable. It truly was a remarkable thing.
Like the trace her rays.
And along that vein though, they also had the really fat jiggly guy running too. So I mean, I think we're really gonna kind of see something. But also to your point too about the body types, also like the textures of the skin. You had people who had like freaking like sunbathing oil on, so they were shiny, and then you had people who just incredible.
Side prediction, real quick, and I want to hear your thoughts because it's important. I think we're going to have
me, cocksucker.
You do it all the time.
Just saying.
I'm
going to note it every time now.
I'm going to note it too.
I'm going to do it every one of you.
You're way ahead of me though.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have to tan in this game. You're going to have the option to tan.
Or sunburn.
You're gonna have to, or you're going to have to wear sunblock or sunscreen. Yeah.
I was saying that, I could see that because I mean they had it so fucking horses' balls would shrink when it came out of cold water, and freaking red, So I could see why they might be like, if you stay on the beach, you're gonna fry, So
yeah.
But the two things that really blew me away that weren't mentioned, just really that beach scene. When you just saw like everybody doing something different and not just the amount of people, like immediately in my head, I compared that to GTA 5 when you go to Venice Beach or whatever, the beach on LA. And I remember thinking like, wow, look at this beach. It's incredible. There's so many people. There's people, lifting weights. Right. But then you look at what it looks like in this new one. It looks like when you go to the beach, what it actually looks like. There's too many people there, if anything. There's so many people. And it's not just people, it's their shit. Mm-hmm. You saw like coolers. You saw floating tubes. You saw umbrellas. And also, like, along the beach line, when they show it from above, you had all these different resorts with, like, this resort had purple umbrellas. This one had yellow umbrellas. And that's what it really looks like when you go.
Yeah.
And everybody's first thought is, I am going to drive a car right through that. But I also think, too,
I want to go hang out.
Are you going to be able to drive a car through that? Because are you going to be able to drive a car on sand like that without it, peeling out? Or, once you run over a couple of umbrellas, is it still going to, so.
I thought of it like this. When you would run onto a beach, fire a gun, maybe a few people would scatter. I feel like now with all this density, with all of this diversity, it almost feel weird to do it,
panicky event.
Because it will create an event that will have this cascading avalanche of screams and running, people running at you, other people with guns because you're in fucking Florida shooting. I feel like there's going to be a consequence because I'm looking at this scale and this diversity. I'm like, well, what happens when the cops come? Like, they haven't even shown. They show cops drive by. They haven't shown what a full-blown, you don't know what a full-blown 5-6 star fucking thing looks like. We, of course, talked about this, kind of revisiting. But I just felt like the thing about the scale, the density, was that it will create more consequence. And the consequence will create more emotion. So when you're doing those things, you're going to feel them a little more. It might not feel as funny when you're doing it to 20 or 30. Like, it, of course, will be hilarious. You'll laugh your ass off about it. But I think as the player, you may be like, I'm not going to do that because if I do it, I'm going to get fucked. Everything I'm doing now is completely derailed.
Too many people.
Too many people, too many cops, too big of a response. This is going to be fucked up. But,
Well, I mean, and one thing, too, to that point, every GTA game, you're always like, man, these motherfucking cops are getting better. Like, these cops are
they get good.
These cops are ruthless.
Yeah.
They've only gotten
They start
smarter.
shooting you through the windshield. That was when it really changed. When they could shoot you through the windshield, it was like, fuck, They only used to really be able to shoot through the side, or they'd pull you out of the car and it would stop the car and kind of be stuck.
They were dumb. They would run off of a cliff. They would run off a cliff to try to arrest
drive
you.
away, and it'd be like, good. In 4, you couldn't duck. In 5, you could duck, which gave you that increased ability. Like, if you click the thumbstick, you duck behind the wheel, and you could, get away a little better and take less hits. But
well, even the way that you escaped the police, I don't know if it changed in 4 or 5. I kind of forget when it all happened. The timeline.
Can I give my answer though before we?
Well, I only gave one thing
okay.
that blew me away. I mean, the ass was already mentioned, so we'll disqualify the ass. You mentioned so far we have the ass, the immersion, the hair.
I'm trying to go for
the body types. We had just the diversity of the immersion. I don't know what NPCs. My answer really is of just that beach scene. Really just blew me. It's the beach scene because it's
the flyover with the animals because you got turtles, dolphins, sharks, fish, birds, helicopters, commercial aircraft, fucking probably surfers. I don't know, like where it just.
Ooh, that's a good.
Everything.
You think you'd be able to surf in this game?
It really looks.
They
like
always find a way to make other you could make a whole if they wanted
right.
to and just
That's
make a golf game out of GTA 5 golf. They could. Or they had arm wrestling, they had table tennis, they had all kinds of mini games.
Can I give a little quick history just based off the mini game thing? Do you know where Rage Engine even comes from? Rockstar Table Tennis. I don't know if you remember that game. It was an Xbox exclusive. It was a fucking really great ping pong play. You could play the shit out of that.
It was good.
It was a good competitive game. It was a lot of fun.
I thought it started with 3.
Well, that's no. That is the GTA 3. What do you mean?
I thought that was the beginning of the Rage Engine. Was GTA?
No, Rage was something acquired. One of the other, I believe another studio was working on it. They acquired that studio, and then they did Rockstar Table Tennis. They had them do just like a little micro game.
Wow.
But yeah, that's the birth of it, and it's anything in Rockstar goes back to mini games, side quests, vigilante.
Dancing
vigilante has to come back in this. The Florida Man concept, everything we've seen, all the wild, crazy, weird shit. You'd be missing out if you couldn't be a fucking cop in this.
Yeah.
Being a cop in this would be worse than being a vigilante. You have more freedom as the vigilante. As the cop, you'd be running into so much bullshit. I think that's almost a guaranteed layup for this game and a bring back because it was missing from 5.
100%.
What are your standout things that you?
All right,
you said
so
the hair. You agreed with me about that.
Yeah, I don't want to revisit. So there's definitely 2 things that weren't mentioned. One, lighting. Everything about the lighting, the sun, everywhere you look, the lighting system stands out.
Yep.
HDR, either global ray tracing. That's the speculation right now. Is a global ray tracing system, meaning that everything has a light source and all the reflections come from it. It's not even simulated or it's actually from it. So it looks that way. There's just they highlight it in the trailer. They highlight it in the poster, the orange to purple. It's a big focus for them. You can just see it everywhere. It just shines. When she's looking out of the prison glass and you see the distortion of the glass and the sun shining through, and the way that her orange jumpsuit shines. No, the way her orange jumpsuit shines off her face a little bit. The orange is so bright, and it's fluorescent in a sense. It fucking shines off her chin just a touch, and it's like that across everything will lead to a level of immersion you just never felt in a video game. Getting chased by the cops and the way the fucking lights and all the strobes, everything will feel so heightened because it's so detailed and good. In a passive way, you might not notice it. I watched the trailer, I don't know, 45 times, 50 times, twice a day since it's come out, 20 times when it came out, dissected it. I've been looking, but as it goes, there are things that are happening that you're not super focused on. You might have to record it, watch it back, but when it's happening, it leads to the buy-in. So definitely the lighting. There's no way.
To that point too, like when you go to Florida, you were just there, right?
Sunsets.
Sun is constantly, and when you're inside in Florida,
it feels good.
You see the sunlight coming through the windows. Like, it's like here in New York, it's like everything's kind of drab. We have a lot of indoor lighting, Whereas in Florida, like a lot of the lighting is just coming through the windows from outside, and you could really see that just like coming through the cracks. So I think lighting will be a big part of it.
Definitely stood out. The other part, you said hair, eye contact, eyes, quality of the eyes, quality of where the eyeballs are looking, and who they're looking at,
how glossy
and
they are,
what they're engaged in. Absolutely, there's a level of dilation. There is
how white they are, or sometimes they're too white that it looks fake. Or
there's so many dead eye. There's that and they've always gotten it right, to a point. But even still, GTA 5, Red Dead, there was a tiny sense of, just a little sense of where their eyes looking.
Not Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead's
2. Red Dead
reach.
2
I'm just saying it's they have the best out of anybody. There's no one that's done it any better. Yeah. And the final point to this, but I think the eye contact is like to the hair thing when you're watching cutscenes, when you're swinging the camera around, and the way your character's looking,
or just running.
It's not just like this.
Yeah,
it's like this. It knows the cops are here,
right.
And as you pivot on the corner, it's they're looking out of the corner of their eye, and that shows when you're in the third-person game.
They're not just looking forward and then every 10 seconds looking left and right and then looking forward again, in some kind of repeating animation.
The eyeballs, it wasn't even like, if I look at Chris, you can see it in the perspective from the camera. This eye is cocked harder to look at him from here and then less here. And you can see that in the trailer in every step of the way. When they kick the door in through the convenience store and she's looking, she scans the room, not just like, it's like this. It's a full-blown read of the room, and I was like, that's just a tiny detail that will lead to more immersion in the game, more immersion in the cutscenes. All the cutscenes are in-game. I think everything we saw, there's not a stitch of it that's pre-rendered. Mm-hmm. Even that last door kick, the way she kicks the door, her momentum takes her through the door, the way the door swings open and the dust kicks up, that's what you're going to see in the fucking game. And that is going to...
all of the decals on the glass window.
It's going to blow everybody
just
away.
The detail at every point.
Game of the year 2025.
And also with the eye, too. Like, that's how you connect to people. Eye contact.
Absolutely.
You're going to feel a deeper connection with them just in that alone. And speaking of deeper connection, this dynamic where... we finally know now that it's a Bonnie and Clyde type of thing, like it's been rumored, but
they're not brother and sister.
That was the big rumor, is that they were brother and sister. I'm like, well, then how are they
Bonnie and Clyde weren't brother and sister, right? They were lovers.
Like, what is that? Like, I felt like a brother sister dynamic would kind of be weird. Like,
it's just one of the stupid things that people set off the leaks because it's the most insightful. It's the thing that kind of goes to the top.
Well, Well, and also maybe it's you know, a red herring. Like, you know, you put out fake
They actually had
information, you know?
Bonnie and Clyde teaser in the photo. You know the photo of them sitting on the hood of the car? So the side of the car is all shot up, actually, if you look at it.
Right.
I didn't see this. This was, you know, breakdown.
Yeah, so...
And that's an ode to Bonnie and Clyde, because when they died, I believe they were killed by cops through the car. And there's like a historic photo of the car that they were shot up in.
And now that connection between the two characters, though, where now you if you're playing as two characters and, you know, they care for each other, that's going to pull you in. Like, that's going to be a gripping story because, you know, everybody has experienced love, hopefully, in some form of another. And, you know, like, when you're playing as the dude and then the chick's in danger and you, like, you hear and see and just witness his concern, like, it's going to make you naturally kind of feel that way, feel the way the character does.
You're going to really buy in. And there's been missions in the past, more with Red Dead 2, where I definitely imagine a scenario where one character has to save the other.
Oh, yeah.
I think
I mean, they've always done that, yeah.
And I think in this case, it will carry more than any of the other ones.
Yeah.
Because you will care when you're going after or for that person. Whether it's, I assume it would be Jason. Jason gets fucked or kidnapped or something, and there's going to be a really cool dynamic and a twist and a betrayal. I know we'll get to all that, but I just think the pure, when she thinks he's at risk and you've played X amount of this game and the way that they've built this relationship, you're going to give a shit. And then if it's vice versa, you have to save her or you have to free her from wherever. You have to break her out of prison maybe. We don't know how this game's going to go. Actually, well, they showed
a prediction or a theory I have that kind of came up with over the past 2 days. I suspect maybe, and again, could be totally wrong. I don't know. I just kind of got this hunch that maybe she's like a very impulsive woman. And not even necessarily emotional, but very impulsive. Like, you know, she maybe lives for like the thrill of like robbing, and that's why she's talking to the psychiatrist at the beginning or whatever, the prison person.
Be cool, honey bunny.
She's like, you know, do you know why?
Anybody fucking move? Sorry.
Fucking cocksuckers. I'm going to charge you $5 every time you quote a goddamn movie in the middle of me fucking talking. I swear to God. I don't remember what I was saying now. Never mind. Cocksuckers.
Come on, Yolanda. What is Fonzie like?
I think she's going to be impulsive and drag this guy in, and maybe he is an undercover cop, and you know,
I think it would be, different than that, but because they're going to pull you through all the emotions.
Well, and the song that they chose, Tom Petty, and, you know, I've been listening to that song over and over, and then the lyrics to it.
My fucking dad, man. He literally, I told him, he didn't see it. He doesn't care about any of this stuff, right? He's just a musician. He loves music. And I tell him, you know, one of the most popular things on earth right now features this Tom Petty song, Love is a Long, Long. He goes, oh, Love is a Long, Long Road? Yeah, that's a crazy song, actually, because it's kind of like the ups and downs of how relationships are, and he just goes in on it. He just totally knows the song. He's listened to it obsessively. It's the B-side of fucking this Tom Petty album, one of his first. My dad just goes in on it, and he just knew. And he kind of told me, when he was telling me this, all I'm thinking is, this fucking game is just going to be out of control. This is going to be one of the best games ever made, ever.
And the music's going to be good.
Oh, God.
So in that vein, I want to talk about, before we wrap up our GTA, because we could talk about this all night.
I could go for
we're talking about graphics. We're talking about changes and things we haven't seen in other games. What's one thing that you want? And I'll start it. And then also from a gameplay perspective, what's one thing you want? Because those are two tangibles that we can kind of hope for and kind of guess. So for me, in terms of graphics, like we talked about, how much depth is in every single area of the game, from the beach to the strip club to the convenience store. So what I want is a fully destructible environment. If you take a car onto the beach, you start running over the umbrellas. I want all those tables and chairs to break and the umbrellas to I want a fully destructible environment, not to the vein where the buildings can fall down like in, you know, Battlefield, but I want every single piece of glass in a building to break or crack or anything like that.
Even in GTA 5, well, to your point, even in GTA 5, if you run into a volleyball net, your car stops. It doesn't break. You stop dead in your tracks, and it fucks up your hood.
The other thing that I want is, let's say we go into a convenience store and I knock over a shelf of, candy. I want the candy all over the floor. Different colors, different shapes, different types. I want it all over the floor. I know I'm reaching a little bit, but these are the things that I feel like they're kind of getting closer and closer to kind of having that type of environment. And these are you saw a little bit of that if you ever played Dead Rising.
Right.
Where it's a zombie game and it's a little over the top, but you can go into like a toy store and you knock a shelf down and all the toys just like fall all over the place and you're slipping and falling on them and things like that. The other thing that I think Grand Theft Auto does not do well is the shooting, especially when you're in a car. I've been playing a little bit of GTA 5 recently, and it's like a pretzel when you're trying to drive and then move the stick to see, and then hold one button to stare out the window and the other button to shoot. Like, it's too much. They need to simplify some of the mechanics, even when you're like shooting and running. Like, I think they just need to really streamline that. If they can nail that aspect, that's one of the things that took me out of those games. Is it was always like a, it's a lot. Fucking twister on a controller, Too much going on, too much of the wheel, spin the wheel, and you could see all these guns. You can pull out a rocket launcher from your backpack. They just need to hone in on streamlining it and making it feel not only more realistic, but they didn't make it more practical and more immersive.
It's funny because when GTA 4 came out, it was more to that. I think it was more realistic. In a sense.
And the combat was good in that. When you punched somebody, that you felt like you fucking cracked
everybody.
Them,
There was kind of, not everybody. I just say there was an open complaint of like, you can't. They just want everybody. GTA 5 was like, here's everything. They just were like, here's all of it. And I wonder if they're going to learn from that and say, all right, we're going to rein it in a little. We want to go back to, more like Red Dead, GTA 4, something that feels a little more real, something that feels a little
Red
bit
Dead,
more
I
believable.
thought, had the biggest twister controllers because you had to slow down the Deadeye and all this other stuff. Like, it was good when it played, but you had to do like one of these.
Yeah, they do the crab.
Yeah, the crab. It was too much.
I disagree. I think that the interface for GTA
What a
and
fucking
for
shocker.
Red Dead, I think it's the weapon wheel is one of the best things in any video game is GTA weapon wheel. It's very intuitive, and when it becomes second nature to you, that you could just hold that one, flick up really quick, and you got your pistol, and you flick down, you got your sniper, and you flick the bottom left, and that's where explosives are. Granted, I played this game a lot more than you have, but eventually it becomes second nature.
I feel like I'm on a rotary phone. Where's my machine gun?
Well, that's the thing. Eventually, you learn where everything is, and you just flick right to it. I know Vin can.
You'll get once you play for.
I played quite a bit of Grand Theft Auto. You're talking like I never played Grand Theft Auto.
No. But I will say, the great thing with any Rockstar game too is it's polished enough where you can do that, like that flick. Some games it fucks it up where like the menu system's too slow, or there's some kind of UI that
Doesn't
requires
register.
this loading or some kind of. No, this is smooth. It's butter smooth. It's always like if I hold L1, I'm like, and I'm holding the D-pad because I'll do this. I'll like hold L1.
See that, and the fact that you have to do that.
I know exactly what you mean. Like I've had to eat snacks while in cover while trying to battle somebody in multiplayer. Chris knows better than anybody. You're loading up on your fucking
I'm a master playing
snacks
with one
and you're-
hand in GTA.
So I know exactly what Joe means. I don't think they could ever simplify just because the game is so complex. I don't know how you simplify that. Only thing I could think of is a situation where AI can drive for you, and you can, if you want to be the drive-by guy and let AI drive, that's a potential future I could see, and especially with the enhancements, you get what I mean. So I think that could help make it more realistic and do what you want.
If you have a passenger, you could have
I
want to
shoot. I want to shoot. One thing I was
Shouldn't be
saying
able
to
to
Chris,
drive
Driving
and
and shooting shouldn't be easy.
Shouldn't be a thing. You shouldn't be able to do that.
Well, I
You
mean,
should
but
not be able to hang out of a car,
hang
shoot,
out.
So
No.
it's funny you say that.
and,
I was
and
thinking
still
about
shoot
the
and
hanging,
drive the car.
the hanging aspect.
You
Where
can't
I was
hang out.
Well, here's the thing. I was like, I don't quite remember off the top of my head right now. When I'm shooting out of the front of the car, I can't. Right?
What?
Is there shooting out of the front? He holds the
windshield?
gun
You
out
can
of
shoot
this.
all 360 degree.
He just shoots like this, though. I mean.
I don't know if
sideways.
I don't know if it actually goes
Right?
through
No,
the
it's
windshield.
sideways.
I want him to shoot like this.
Yes.
I want to drive like this and him to shoot
yes,
through the windshield.
Yes.
I fuck the windshield. If
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I'm gonna
It's gonna
shoot,
get broken
Yep.
anyway.
Yes. Yes.
it would just feel
Which is
more
why it's a
authentic.
clusterfuck, because now you have to go on the side of the car and angle the camera on the side while you're still trying to drive and aim and shoot. Like, I hate those missions. Those missions are like, I just fucking get done with them and never do them
Franklin has a benefit where you can slow down time, but whatever.
I know.
I'm really good at it. I've
So
mastered it after 10 years, so
great.
I
You're the
love it.
master.
Chris
And I
doesn't.
think Red Dead's better than the gunning, the
Well,
shooting system.
You're on a horse. It's not the same.
Well, I mean on foot too. The shooting system on Red Dead is a lot
Can I
more
say
refined than 5.
The one thing about Red Dead that you have to kind of know or realize, you have to turn off direction-based steering. I don't know if that makes sense. You have to turn off camera-based steering.
About, but yeah, that's
So
hard.
by default, the camera on the horse turns when you look. I can't do that. I need to be able to independently swing the camera, shoot, and keep going a different direction. So I'll hold left on the thumbstick to keep going this way while I'm looking that way. So it was a problem with Spiderman. It's like this guided assist camera bullshit you have to turn off, and it never explicitly tells you what's happening. But that might actually help you in both games, because I think it happens in GTA as well. I think it's camera based, so I don't remember GTA specifically. I still do wherever you're looking is.
Well,
where
when you're holding R2, you're just going forward. So if you're moving
the
your
car is
camera
different.
whatever way,
The
it's
horse
gonna
is
go
just
left or
because you're
right.
guiding it.
All
Anyway,
right, just to kind of wrap the conversation, since you have the podium, one thing you want from the graphics that haven't been seen in the trailer, and one thing you want from the gameplay.
if you're gonna hone it down into graphics, I'll bring up something controversial. 60 frames per second, smooth. All the shit you're talking about, all the shit we're talking about, 60 frames per second, smooth with the PS5. I don't know. Starting to doubt it, especially when they said Xbox Series S compatible. Fuck does that mean? What are the limitations now on this game, or what are the levels of this game we can get? What are the compromises?
If it's not 60
there has
frames,
to
it'll
be
be a huge disappointment.
Well, there has to be a compromise. If you want 60, what are you losing? What are you gaining? Every game so far has given us that. The only guarantee at this point, when I watched that trailer, when I ended that trailer and I had one cold, ice water bath feeling, I got to get a PS5 Pro. It's 2026, PS5 Pro. It's guaranteed at this fucking point.
Cocksuckers.
When I see this game, I go, based on everything I've played so far, what shows me this is possible on what I'm playing? And the only thing that gives
it's also wild that it's going to be 5 years by the time the game comes out, that these consoles have been at 5 years. Usually the console cycles are about 7 to 8.
Right. We're deep into this,
Well, but COVID also threw everything
we have some
off
delays.
with game
They've been working on
developments,
this for 10 years. They've been optimizing it. There's no way that we're not getting a very highly polished game.
It's not
I'm
on
just
PC.
wondering
It's
what
only console right now.
I'm just wondering what the compromise is going to be with the graphics, because I expect one, and if there isn't one, I'd be just pleasantly surprised and shocked. So 60 frames per second, everything we're talking about, candy spilling onto the floor, different colors, all this glass and fucking lighting, 60 frames per second. Sorry, I'm not playing the 30. I fucking went back, played Red Dead 2.
agree.
It's the only thing that holds it back.
Yeah.
It needs to be 60.
Yeah.
I'll trade 60 for better fucking graphics every time. I've done it every time.
Yeah.
I've traded 120 for
Yeah.
60. So
It doesn't matter as much to me personally. I'd rather,
they gave fucking 60 to even Red Dead 1 because it was that important.
Give
and
me
everyone's playing.
gameplay.
All
What
right.
do you want from the gameplay?
Funny enough, I saw a video. Chris would agree with this, and it's something we haven't brought up. The ability to climb was much superior in 4, much more superior in 4.
grab onto ledges and
You could
shimmy.
jump onto a ledge, pull yourself up, or shimmy.
Right.
In 5, that stupid fucking jump again. Like
to
it's
jump
3.
in and you could dive forward and crack your head on the
Yeah,
pavement.
you trip and fall over the littlest fucking inconvenience. You should be able to parkour, jump to a ledge. That would add to the level of I'm running from the cops.
Well, you can
in
grab
this
onto a
level-
ledge and pull yourself up, but that's the extent of it. And it's
you have
gotta
to
be-
run up to it and jump up to it. You
yeah.
can't
You gotta
run
climb
and jump
multiple
it.
things.
I
yeah.
think at this point in what GTA has been able to do, if you could add that, it would bring back the foot chase element. It would almost bring back I could ditch the car. There's too much traffic. There's too much density. I can't get away in a car. The car's breaking down because I'm hitting too much shit. That's another thing I expect because of the density. Bring that back. That would be cool. That would be a fun thing.
I agree with that. I would. They need to do that.
Well, and Red Dead did because if you remember Saint Denis, when you're in Saint Denis, you don't run from the cops on horseback. You have to run through the alleyways of Saint Denis, and you can kind of parkour around a bit. So I think
It is a little better, right?
it's much better in Red Dead.
They brought back a little bit more of 4. So
I expect some of that. As far as what is it?
I just had one thing about it. Why does this have to come out for Series S? What?
Just killed that console already.
I know the thing that the argument is the numbers. There's fucking 50 million of them on the market. Maybe. Is it holding back game development?
Yes.
Get rid of it. Kill it. Murder it.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. I don't want to see it anymore. Support Series S. It's a compromise that doesn't need to be had. Let them go full tilt. Stop this fucking compromising bullshit.
So wait, what is it? One thing we want to see
From graphics, one thing from gameplay.
I don't know where this would fall if it's necessarily graphics or gameplay, but just the main criticism that I had about Spider-Man, the main criticism that I had about Elden Ring, what was it? That
lack of life.
That the NPCs were either non-existent because there are no NPCs in Elden Ring.
They're
There's
Christmas
like 3.
ornaments.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I want smart, realistic NPCs that interact when you go up to them and you get in their face and they're like, like what are you doing, or whatever it may be. I want them to feel like this is a person that I'm killing right now. Not like this is just some mindless fucking polygon.
They're
Killers are
Florida. They're
created.
probably going to be more unhinged than they ever were.
Well, hey, and you know what?
Fighting them.
I look forward to that. They're probably arguing. Some of
Be a
them they're going to be
challenge.
better armed, probably. But
Much better.
I want that. I want the NPCs to, because that's the biggest thing. When you're playing a WWE game and then the crowd is a bunch of fucking hot dogs doing the same animation at the same time. They all get up and cheer and they all move left to right, and it's just like a synchronized fucking swimming dolphin routine or some shit. So I want to see, and we already from that beach scene kind of saw like we're gonna have that. So, apart from that, gameplay wise, it's kind of almost an extension of what Vin was saying. I mentioned it last time, the ability to like crawl and hide and like really, like hide in a bush or hide under a car or just, something like that where you can really, spring a trap.
Get rid of like the classic kind of GTA poke fun where you just duck behind something like very, not secretively, and then all of a sudden the cop who's walking up the street is just like, oh,
Right.
and then walks away. It's like, all right.
Let me
I think
expand
we're
on
beyond
that.
now.
You know what? Let me answer it this way. I want it to be a GTA game that has none of the physical anomalies that the other GTAs are known for. And what I mean by is like, people parody videos of GTA and it's always like, like that they're running like into a wall for a second, like, or they, like the way that they like
jump.
just abruptly turn left or turn right. Like the stuff that
Movement. You want organic, realistic
yes,
movement.
Exactly. All the
Yeah.
stuff that people make fun of, like the movement in GTA. I want this game to have no cracks. I want it to be
This is
to
the
defy
most hype-
all of the things all the bad things that GTA was known for, which were really, almost
We're
funny.
almost still
endearing
2
things.
years away. We're still not even done with this conversation.
This is gonna be ongoing. They're gonna
It'll
go
be on
right-
ice for a while until we get another trailer.
It's amazing how popular and the heights that this is hitting, and how absolutely dead fucking silent they're gonna go for another year.
Yeah.
So I will say, to my point, you guys made this, ode to a late 2025 release. The only reason there's any evidence to the contrary is Take-Two has to project their earnings, right? They have to basically say, oh, we're going to make this much money.
Publicly
over the
traded
next
company.
year. Right. And they said by their last, I believe it's the last quarter of 24, they have to report like a beyond significant increase in revenue and profit. That's their projections. That's what they told Wall Street and the banks, basically. So based on that, they're looking at March is the last quarter, of the last month in that quarter, potentially like spring 2025.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
Perhaps.
See.
Rob, do you want to chime in, or do you got to take another shit?
No, that's for another 10 minutes from now. As far as gameplay and stuff, I agree with what Chris said last time. I would like buildings where you could just walk into them and not have to have like a blue bubble. And going back to the discussion you guys were having about the shooting and stuff like that, you also have to take into consideration that this is going to be current gen, and that controller is capable of a lot more than the controllers from when GTA 5 first came out. So I think we're going to see a lot more usage of the haptic feedback of those new controllers, and I think even based on the quality of Red Dead 2, we're going to get a better shooting system. But I'm looking forward to that. Because that's what they've always, I mean, driving and that kind of stuff we know is going to be top tier. They've always done that better than anybody else.
Yeah.
But
I will say Red Dead 2 exceeded anything I thought the PS4 Pro was capable of. So I assume with GTA 6, this will exceed everything you think that this current console is capable of, and that just not every other studio is as capable as Rockstar.
What they normally do is between their Grand Theft Autos, they're going to have a Max Payne, they're going to have a Red Dead. They might have, maybe a Bully or a Manhunt, even if we're really lucky, and I'd love to see another one of those. Warriors.
Oh,
great game. And a lot of the things, they pilot a lot of things in those games that they then end up bringing to, GTA.
Mm-hmm.
There's also going to be some things that we probably won't really have too much of, Red Dead. One of the special things is, the Deadeye. Max Payne, it's the bullet time where you dive forward and shoot. You never really have all of that in a GTA game. They try to save those things for those games, and that's what makes them those games.
Well,
but maybe one guy will have bullet time for a second. Or
the driving.
I
thing
feel
with,
like in this one that'll be an emphasis. I think she'll have a certain couple of capabilities, and so will he. He's the driver. Clearly, you can see he's driving.
Yeah.
He's the driver. He's the getaway man. So he'll have the driving and whatever else, maybe a better shooting. But I think almost, it was funny, I was envisioning her having a slow-mo Max Payne-esque shooting ability.
what are the
Just to
chances
give her
that we
the
get
edge.
2-player on a campaign?
0.
I would love if they added a multiplayer. Imagine, come on,
Less than 0. Is there less than 0, or is that a fake thing?
how cool would it be, though, if they
If you wanna
defied any of
speculate.
our expectations and they
It's
said,
for
yeah,
GTA
you can.
Online. That's for GTA Online, and they need to improve what GTA Online can be. As much as this game should be a leap forward, when they do whatever, GTA 6 Online, whatever you want to call it, the separate game that it is, they need to elevate what they did and what's possible, because I would love to do all this shit and feel like it's single player, but be online, Maybe without all the mayhem and a lot less loading screens.
A co-op mission, should be easy enough to do.
They need to do that. I think GTA Online. We'll speculate a ton about that, because I think once we get the full breadth of info and that release is imminent, we'll finally get the tease. They will eventually speak to what the future of GTA Online is going to be. There's no doubt. But they're going to let GTA 6 breathe. We're going to get
1 month.
At least a year. I don't know. It's December now. We're not going to hear or see anything probably for 6 to 8 months about this game. I don't expect anything.
So there's
unless
our next prediction. When's the next trailer come out? Because they called this trailer number 1.
Let's do that.
I say
let's finish on that.
I don't think more than 3 months.
3 months next
3
trailer.
months we'll have trailer number 2, and that maybe it'll be more from the guy's point of view. They'll say, they'll give a little bit of his backstory. It started with Lucia, and do you know why you're here? And they showed the guy a bit, but they didn't even say his name. So the next one, they'll show the guy. They'll give a little, what are you doing here? I don't know what it may be. They'll show Lucia a bit too, but it'll be more focused around him. So yeah, I think 3 months maybe.
Valentine's Day.
That'd be something.
It's fitting.
Yeah. All right.
Just the last topic that we have for you guys tonight. We're going to talk about some of the trailers that have been released. There's a lot of TV shows coming out next year that's going to be pretty impactful. Some of them are 2025, like House of the Dragon. That trailer came out, and season 2 will be in 2025. When the fuck's the next Cobra Kai coming out?
Everything's coming out in 2025.
God, it was supposed to
What's
be
coming out in 2024? Everything's
Halo.
they're just skipping it.
Halo February.
On.
I can't believe that. I didn't know that was happening. I had no idea Halo Season 2 was happening whatsoever.
I didn't even finish season 1, so
Yeah, same.
sorry.
The Boys, season 4, also next year as well.
I very much look forward to that.
That's always anybody watch the other the alternate show there, whatever?
Oh, the V whatever.
Yeah, V School, V something.
I didn't see that. I
Yeah,
think my friend Mandy ended up watching that, but she loves the boys and stuff. There was a cartoon show too, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think
They
1 or
did.
2 seasons or so.
Yeah. Well, that's a
Yeah, I
great
don't know.
series.
What are you excited for most for? House of the Dragon for sure. I think.
That was 25. I thought it was 2024.
No, we're getting that this year. We're getting that in the spring.
House of Dragon?
Yeah.
They said 2025.
Really?
Oh man, I feel we gotta look that up. I could have sworn it's 2024.
What? I could swear because that trailer was pretty polished.
They even
there.
said that they were already working on season 2.
Hot DS2.
Let's see.
Everything we know so far.
Let's look up release date. Yeah. What else do we have to look forward to? in
Summer
2024?
2024.
Summer 2024.
Hallelujah.
Last of Us season 2. Have we gotten a
2025.
That's what I was confused about. Okay.
Yeah, Last of
That was what's 2025, which is a little way out there.
Well, you figure we had the writer's strike now. So we had the writer's strike and the Actors Guild strike. So
Makes sense.
everything's pretty much we're looking at
And
another
Part 2 remake is
another long
next
year.
year.
which
The game. Part 2 remake of the game. Last of Us.
Oh right.
And they were supposed to come out with an online game
That's
too.
not happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's like shelved.
Is that totally
I
shelved?
think
Is that
so. They
confirmed?
haven't
It's
announced anything on it.
allegedly it's probably like 4 people looking at it, working on it, maybe a little bit, but it's like a side
Look into
project.
that a little bit.
Hey, if you have
Oh.
time, just do a little bit on this online game.
I got one maybe. The Forest 2. Has that come out on console yet? Sons of the Forest?
I haven't seen it on there.
Because that's on PC, but it still hasn't come out on console. So it's got to come out next year. I'd have to. That was a really solid game if you ever played the
I
Forest.
played the original Forest. That was a solid game.
Really good survival game. It's the graphics.
Played that
is-
heavy during the pandemic with my friends and
Yeah.
streamed that for a while. That was good.
Yeah, the graphics for this new one looked absolutely insane.
Speaking of graphics, the new Jurassic Park game looks pretty interesting. It's going to be a survival game based on the original Jurassic Park. It seems like it takes place like right after the first movie because she's in the kitchen with the velociraptors, and then she kind of gets outside the welcome gate, and there's the T-Rex. So it's definitely pulling hard on those heartstrings of the original Jurassic Park fans, and they hit us with the John Williams theme song, which I thought was really interesting. So
Huge odes to the movie. They were just relying on the whole. They were like, "Here's every scene, every major scene in the first movie. Here it is in this game trailer." I hope they can live up to it because
I love Jurassic Park.
I would play the shit out of it. I'll buy it just to have it.
I was even talking to Vin about this. I was like, as much of a Jurassic Park fan as I am, I only like the first movie.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yep.
I like the
Only
second
like
one a
the
little
first
bit.
one.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have
Watch
Jeff
'em.
Goldblum and it doesn't have
Now that is one
freaking
big pile of shit.
Richard Attenborough in it, I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's worthless.
Spared no expense.
So wait, we lost the TV. What happened?
Or
We
Newman.
don't even know what happened on this CM Punk.
I don't know why
Cody-
it's
It ended with LA Knight and Randy Orton won the match. They were raising
Oh.
hands together, and it ended with the good
Oh, that
guys.
was it.
winning,
Oh, okay.
Seems.
Yay, help.
Well, this has been an interesting episode for sure.
We want to touch on the last thing.
What else was there?
So we talked about the Halo Season 2 trailer on Paramount Plus. In the vein of talking about Halo and the people who invented Halo and made Halo, Bungie
Oh,
has
yes.
been in the news lately. I know you wanted to go off on Bungie, possibly not living up to the financial expectations that Sony has laid out to them, and possible full-fledged Sony takeover of Bungie.
All right.
And the
Should've
layoffs.
They
They
should
laid
have
off
never
a lot
left
of...
Xbox. They should have just stayed with Xbox because they went and they said they wanted it to be open and multi-platform, and then they went and they just joined Sony.
Activision. And then Sony.
Inevitably, the fate was the same. They left Microsoft so that they weren't exclusive to whatever company.
They just didn't want to make Halo anymore.
Yeah.
Well, and they wanted to make a game that wasn't as good. Destiny was never as good as Halo was.
People get bored, man. I don't know why. You can't just chain people to a desk and be like, make this. People get bored.
That's what I want. I'd rather chain those motherfuckers to the desk. Halo,
It doesn't work that way.
Halo was sacrificed in that decision that they made, and that selfish
it's never been
decision.
the same.
Halo was
100
never
I
the
mean,
same after that.
absolutely.
It was a selfish decision that they took for themselves, and instead of getting continued Halo greatness for the rest of our lives, just like we got with Rockstar.
We're
I
cheaters.
don't believe that they couldn't do it. If fucking Rockstar was able to make a better game every year, if every other gaming company could do it, they could have kept making Halo better and better and
Do
better.
you think
and
that Kojima is selfish for not working with Konami anymore?
Absolutely, he's robbing us of Metal Gear.
I don't know if there was more to that, though. I don't know if they put him out to pasture.
See, there's
Or-
more to it
or
with
what?
them, but Bungie is like chain them to the desk.
No, chain them motherfuckers to the desk. They left. They split up 343 in Bungie, and then they made
right.
Destiny, and Destiny was never
Here's the
as
reality.
good.
We're hearing all this shit like fucking 6 months later because we knew and Sony knew going in how much money fucking Destiny was not making. They didn't buy the company blind. They weren't like, you know what? We got a bunch of money. We should buy Bungie just for fun. You fucking look at everything they're doing, all their projections, how the games are. They're like, they're not buying Destiny. They don't give a fuck. They knew they were going to get rid of those people as soon as they bought the fucking company.
They're absorbing
Going
the workers.
in, it was already like, yeah, listen, by Christmas 2023, these motherfuckers are out. So I don't know how you're going to tell them, when you're going to tell them, but that's how it's going to go because you're not making enough money to sustain doing anything. We're going to bring you on board. We're going to let you do what you want to do. What are your plans? Show us your They're not going in just like, Sony doesn't make games.
Arthur.
Sony doesn't tell Naughty Dog what to make. They don't tell any studio, oh, you need to make this or do that. Yeah, of course they encourage sequels and they'll give them an unlimited budget to make fucking The Last of Us 2 and 3. But going in, they need the ideas coming from the studio. So they already know. We're just finding out later, and it's a big deal because you feel bad. These people are getting fired, people, losing their jobs, and it's like things are getting consolidated. But I don't have any expectation that Bungie's not going to come out with a great fucking game in the next 3 years.
Do they have any games in the pipeline that we know about?
Marathon.
Yeah, Marathon's
What's
like
that?
the only. It's
The
a
first
remake.
game they ever made. It's gonna be another shooter.
Interesting. Never heard of that one.
Yeah,
I mean, is there hype around it? Is there any kind of
not really. They haven't really showed much in like 2 years on it. There's a lot of games that were announced in the last 2 years since COVID, like Wolverine, Fable, Perfect Dark. All of these games,
Elder Scrolls.
they
next
show up a picture, a tease, a something, a logo, nothing.
Yeah.
For years, nothing.
Wasn't there like a story within the last year or so that one of the other multiplayer games out there was like kind of being put on ice because they acquired Bungie, and then Bungie was supposed to be like the new focus? I think it was the Last of Us Online game. We talked about it on the show.
Here's what I want. I want Bungie to make the new SOCOM. That's what I want.
Oh my god!
That would be the
Don't
only
even say
thing that
Because
I would,
nobody
that
does
would be the only way that they could redeem themselves.
Nobody does a shooter like Bungie. Nobody does the feeling you get when you shoot a gun in the first-person view like Bungie. I don't care what you say.
be
Destiny
gross.
has the best gunplay in any
Yes.
game, and so does Halo 2 and Halo 1, still to this day. If Bungie were to get a license like SOCOM or even Killzone, I'm not really crazy about Killzone. I think it's a dead IP. I think they can revitalize because they're at some point they're going to lose Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the battle's going to happen,
Right.
and Microsoft's going to say, that's it, fuck this shit, no more Call of Duty for PlayStation.
10 years ago,
and they're going to be forced to come out with their own Call of Duty-esque game, whether it's Medal of Honor, whether they merge with EA and get Battlefield, or if they just put some of their developers like Bungie who's sitting on their ass and they're starting to worry. Here's an IP that's already existence. Here's an IP that you guys can do. Here's something you can sink your teeth into. Make it your own. Here's SOCOM.
I would love that.
SOCOM with like Splinter Cell level graphic, like mind blowing
Lighting
Yeah.
and just the change of weather and the conditions.
Yeah, snow, different biomes. Yeah.
The
Man.
desert.
Way better than Call of Duty too. Just sticking it to how like, cheap and plastic it is, and kind of recycled and reused and overused and abused. And
That's what I want.
Well, but in
Sorry,
SOCOM
Hells, I
too,
love you.
SOCOM was also third person, which is just worth noting because it's not a first person shooter;
Right.
it's a third person shooter,
Right.
and it had like unique game types where it wasn't just deathmatch; it was extract the hostages,
Yes.
and you're either the terrorist or the SEALs,
Plant the bomb.
or plant the bomb, or defuse the bomb, or whatever it was.
Bomb armed.
Yeah, and that was like so much. Honestly, like the hostage when you were playing as a terrorist and you had to like keep the hostages from being
Flag
extracted.
taken.
It was so fun. Like it would like you couldn't kill the hostage. It would just add another like layer and a dynamic to the game.
Absolutely.
And SOCOM also always had like the coolest maps.
Oh,
Like
forget
the
about
level designs, those
Amazing.
maps. If I can go back and play them
Yeah,
to this day,
amazing.
like I remember the little places, and you know they had a variety of environments. They had a snow level, they had a jungle level, and all that stuff. So I would love to see that. I think technically the SOCOM IP is Sony's. I don't know who owns that IP right now, but I think it was always a Sony PlayStation game.
Yeah, it was.
And yeah, I you know I would love that. I think that's the only thing that would redeem Bungie in my eyes. But we don't need another Destiny. Are they making another Destiny? Is that done?
Final chapter.
I don't know.
It's coming out
I don't
in June
know.
or something.
They have. I mean, they have
Saying
spent
that shit
7.5 years on Destiny, and you know, the last major expansion was pushed back till June. Who knows if it's coming out in June? I don't know. But yeah, it's. I'm gonna have to play it because I sunk so many hours into this game. I got to see the finale. I got to see the finish, and supposedly Cade is back. So I don't know how that's. Back, whatever. But yeah, that's kind of like the show for tonight. Anybody else have anything they want to add before we wrap?
No, I think.
God, I just want
we got,
GTA.
like
Do
I
you
said,
have
we
ways
got-
of
we got-
2025
we got a bunch
yet?
of trailers to look forward to and stuff. We got some games coming up, and you know, keep your eyes peeled if you're a fan of the real life Peter Griffin. I'll probably be doing some more of those Fortnite streams. They were super popular. I did a couple of them already. The first one I had over 200 people watching me. Second one I was competing with the
It's
Game
nothing.
Awards
You could
and still had 150 people watching me. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Please hit that subscribe button and tell your friends to do the same. Hit that notification button too so that you know when we're going live, because we never go live when we say we're going to go live. But we love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Break Room Podcast. Snooch.